Give me a sign, will everything be alright? I need a sign, cause I don't wanna waste my time. Sometimes I don't wanna wake up, I feel tired in my bed, wanna lay up. Watch TV and step out fake love. Let the drama unfold with my brain numb. Yeah, I'm still digesting everything that's going on, second guessing if this world is a place worth saving. I feel lost in this world as of lately. Give me a sign, will everything be alright? I need a sign, cause I don't wanna waste my time. I wish I knew if all of my dreams would come true. I wanna be free, I gotta find a way to believe. All I know is that if I give up then it's over, but if I keep going every day's a bit closer. Highs and the lows feels like a roller coaster, it's never over. I gotta find a way to get inspired in this life. Stop looking out and start looking inside. Find what I love and take a little pride. Anything is better than complaining about life. I don't need help, I could do it by myself. No pain, no gain, I will go through hell. Do what it takes, I will break out of my shell. I'm never coming back, once I'm gone I'm out. Yeah, got me like ooh, watch me on the screen, you gon' see me making moves. You gon' see me scheme like I got something to prove. Working like a fiend, yeah I do just what I do. Got a purpose, got a view, turn my vision into truth. My dreams are becoming lucid. The more I work improving, the more I fight, keep moving. I am not losing, pride keeps me refueling. I will be better real soon, yeah. Real soon, yeah. Give me a sign, will everything be alright? I need a sign, cause I don't wanna waste my time. I wish I knew if all of my dreams would come true. I wanna be free, I gotta find a way to believe. Gotta believe, I will make it happen one day. You gon' see my face and my name. Came to this place to be great, okay, okay. I will make it happen one day. You gon' see my face and my name. Came to this place to be great, okay, okay.
I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be. And when my mind turns sour with the painful scenes, I need to scream out loud, I can't stop me. I wanna be the greatest like Rocky. You know I leave them all hating like a hobby. I'm out here making moves like a lobby. And if you ain't with me, it's your loss, see. I got my mind on the facts, I'm a python, grab what I like real fast. Stroke until I have everything I attack, everything that I lack, everything that I want, and I see, matter of fact. Cause I'm my own worst enemy. Only if I let it be. I can control anything if I can just think carefully. I control my destiny. Deep up in my mind I manifest it. Every morning I wake up obsessed, and everything I do the best. And deep within my mind you know I'll always manifest it.
Oh, little technical difficulty there. StreamYard's been acting a little weird, so I gotta like blend in with the weirdness. But what a better way to have a great ass tag team partner join me tonight's show, Tyson DeLacruz. Yo, what's up, brother?
What's up, man? What's up? How's it going?
It's going good, man. It's crazy. I got my Gulf of America shirt on.
Dude, I love it. I love the background too. I love the background.
Yeah.
It's very
blends. Yeah, it blends in with the shirt. I'm gonna jump right into it, man.
How are you first off? How was your day today?
It was great. I actually had to go down to Hartford, which was like I only go there during the day. You can't go there at night because you will get shot up or killed. So stay away from Democratic-run cities at all costs, especially at night,
man.
But it was good. It was a good day. I had a productive day. How about you?
Oh, it was good, man. Man, honestly, actually, a buddy of mine from high school actually called me up. He works for a big paving company and out here, and he had gotten his general contracting license, and he's kind of navigating through all that stuff. And we've been talking back and forth about doing a couple projects together, aside from his main situation. So we were just talking about that. He just finished a massive project out here in Las Vegas. It was a $400,000 remodel for a paintball field, and yeah, he was just telling me about that and all this other stuff. And then I had to actually check on a couple projects because I'm doing a couple projects right now. So yeah, other than that, it was good, man. And it was raining. I love the rain. Not when it's raining consecutive days, but it was raining just enough, little light breeze, very beautiful. It's been nice because we've hit 110, 112, 100 degrees. It's just, so it's nice and refreshing, man.
It's great to catch a break, especially in that area where you get the monsoon rains coming in at this time of the season.
Yeah.
Any break you could get is a blessing.
Oh yeah, man. It was.
I'm getting ready for this year here because I believe up here in the Northeast we're gonna get hit by like a good cold break, and we're gonna get a couple of nor'easters and all that good stuff.
Oh man. Oh man.
I'm looking forward to it. It's in the 60s. It's been today was kind of nice. It was comfortable. It was in the 70s. Actually, it's 72 now. But yeah, it's been chilling down at night. You know, it's in the 60s, 59s and stuff. But it's been breaking into the 40s. It's that time of the year where we have the transition. So we're going to start getting like more cold fronts coming through, and our temperatures start diving a little downwards. And the leaves are starting to change. The colors are starting to come in.
I love that, man.
Yeah, I think we're having an early fall.
That's nice.
Yeah, I got to put it on camera so I can show you guys. Got to mount my camera on the car and go for a drive so you can see the colors.
Love it. What's up, chat, though? What is going on with the chat? What's up, chat? How's everybody doing today?
Yeah, it's Diamond Heart, Kayla. What's up, Kayla? What's up? Terry.
What's up?
You know where we're gonna go, like right to a video, right? And then we're gonna talk about this person, and this is gonna be fun. I don't wish ill harm to anyone, but this guy, he kind of deserves it. He's a douchebag, and you know who it is. No other than Mr. Jimmy Kimmel. But we're going to take a look at Fox Now and listen.
Oh, this controversy has been brewing through the course of the week, and ABC decided to take action just as Jimmy Kimmel was getting ready for air. It's hard to make out, but that, we believe, is Jimmy Kimmel making a low-key exit after his late-night show was abruptly pulled yesterday, just as audience hopefuls were already lined up.
Now we're going to have to find something else to do at 11:35 every night.
It was all driven by Kimmel's take earlier this week on the death of political activist Charlie Kirk.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from.
That suggestion of a left-wing theory that the accused assassin, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, was a right-wing Trump supporter is not supported by the evidence gathered by investigators who have said Robinson's own family said otherwise. And it was enough to trigger a revolt from a large group of ABC stations around the country, leading the network to pull the plug.
Late night shows, something's gone seriously awry there.
FCC Chairman Brendan Carr had threatened to take action if something wasn't done.
I'm very glad to see that America's broadcasters are standing up to serve the interests of their community. We don't just have this progressive foie gras coming out from New York and Hollywood.
This is just despicable, disgusting, and against democratic values.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer blamed the Trump administration for an attack on free speech. The president, though, was thrilled, posting on Truth Social, "Congratulations to ABC for finally having the courage to do what had to be done." Now, ABC has not said at this point that Kimmel has been canceled, only that his show is off the air indefinitely. In Washington, Doug Luzader, Fox News.
We got it back to back real quick, so let's go ahead and watch it.
Like they did. I mean, I can go back, and so can my colleagues, to remembering, though, the times of Johnny Carson. Now, again, to that point, Chairman, I mean, you know, the administration in power was typically the subject of most of his jokes, as would seem to be the case now. I mean, these are comedians we're talking about. This is not the news.
Well, look, I can tell you, Jimmy Kimmel is no Johnny Carson. And the issue that arose here where lots and lots of people were upset was not a joke. It was not, you know, making fun or pillaring me or the administration or the president. It was appearing to directly mislead the American public about a significant fact of probably one of the most significant political events we've had in a long time. It's really the most significant political assassination we've seen in a long time. And so I don't think anybody's
going to try and defend what Kimmel said. And I certainly defer to the decision making of the company itself in terms of saying this was beyond the bounds. But I do wonder, and I think many people do, whether you really are just targeting comedians who typically through the years have made fun of political figures in a way that because the president simply is offended by it.
No. Look, again, broadcast TV is different. We're on a cable show right now. You don't have an FCC license. You don't have an obligation to serve the public interest. Podcasts don't either. Stand-up comedians, whether they're on lots of forms of communications, don't. And Kimmel is free to do that. But if you have a broadcast TV license, that means that you have something that very few people have. And you're excluding other people from having access to that valuable public resource. And it comes with an obligation to serve the public interest. And again, over the years, there's been a rule in place at the FCC that local TV stations get to preempt programming that they don't think meets the needs of their communities. But recently, these national programmers, ABC, Disney, Comcast, NBC, they've been exercising outsized control and power over those local TV stations, and there's been no pushback. And this is a very significant moment because local broadcasters are now pushing back on national programmers for the first time that I can think of in modern history. And that's one of the things we want at the FCC. We want to empower local broadcasters that have the public interest obligation, national programmers, so that people have more choice.
That kind of, I mean, it's interesting. Some people have pulled some of your old posts, Chair Carr, including this one from 2019. Should the government censor speech it doesn't like? Of course not. The FCC does not have a roving mandate to police speech in the name of the, quote, public interest. How do you square what you're saying with those old posts? And is there pressure now, for example, for Comcast to drop Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers the way the president suggested?
Well, two things. I've been very, very consistent when it comes to the internet. We want, wide open, robust, debate. And there's no public interest standard there. There's no licensing obligation there. But again, broadcast TV is simply different. Particularly during COVID, we saw this massive surge in censorship on the internet by Facebook, by previous owners of Twitter. And I pushed back very strongly there. But again, broadcast is different. They've got a license and they're free to go on the internet and do whatever they want. But if they want to keep access to those valuable airwaves, I've been clear. We're reinvigorating the FCC's enforcement of public interest. And it's a good thing. I mean, look, trust in the media is at an all-time low. It used to be more trusted than Congress, at least they could say, but now they've fallen beneath Congress. I think, gas station sushi probably polls better in terms of trust than the legacy broadcast media right now.
Chair Carr, Jim Cramer, according to the New York Times, late Wednesday, I'm just quoting here, Sinclair, another owner of many local TV stations, said that it would also suspend Mr. Kimmel's program and called on Mr. Kimmel to apologize and make a meaningful personal donation to Mr. Kirk's family and the activist political group Turning Point USA. Do you think that's an appropriate remedy of the situation?
I think Sinclair has every right to call for that. Again, Sinclair affiliates with Disney. They take Disney contract. They have a contractual relationship with Disney, and that's between the two of them to figure out, what's going to make sense to make both of them comfortable with the relationship going forward. But again, over the years, it would be unthinkable for Sinclair, for Nexstar, for local TV stations to actually say, you know what? We're not going to take this particular programming that's coming out of New York and Hollywood and send it to Pennsylvania and Utah. And so the idea that local broadcasters feel like they can push back, I think that's a much, much healthier dynamic for the country right now.
There you go. So what do you think is going on, man, with Kimball?
Well, there's people that say, hey, okay, this is corrupting free speech, but it at least in my opinion, it's not corrupting free speech, because free speech, you have the freedom to do what you want and say what you want, but free speech also has consequences if you work for a bigger broadcasting network. Jimmy Kimmel is employed by a bigger broadcasting network, right? Mm-hmm. And with the new FCC chair, it's maybe not even necessarily what he said or what he didn't say, but the big thing is at the end of the day, it's messing with their money, because if advertisers that back these programmings, if these advertisers are like, hey, we don't like this, we're going to pull back the advertisement because A, he doesn't have crazy ratings, B, he's also getting paid like $16 million a year to not even be funny on late night TV. Mm-hmm. So if the advertisers are pulling back, now their total top line revenue is dropping significantly. So they're like, all right, well, if these advertisers are backing out, this is what we got to do. Mm-hmm. Plus, he made derogatory comments on this particular situation. So it's a full storm to me. At the end of the day, they're messing. He messed with the money, and they don't like that.
Yeah. My question would be, does Kimball deserve this? Does he deserve this backlash? And I'm going to say yes. And I think this is because Trump should have done something in his first term, which he really didn't because of the pandemic that happened, which is another story. But I think because of the pandemic, a lot of people got away and didn't get much of accountability this time around, and the insensitivity towards Trump and the negativity that he's putting towards, and if you hear the segment, because I heard the whole segment, and the way he was putting it out to the people was like blaming the MAGA like Trump, like people. Like, that's what's the assumption that I got when he said that. I was like, wait a minute, this kid was radical. He grew up with a conservative family, but there's always that little, ugly duckling that goes off and does his own little thing. But you can't say, oh, because he was raised in a conservative family, he's MAGA. No, he's not. And they're trying to prove that now.
Yeah, and to kind of caveat to your point, also, during that COVID C-19 situation, there was an abundance of people getting blocked for free speech to say, hey, these things don't work, these shots don't work, this jabs doesn't work, this didn't come from here, and those people got censored significantly during that time. And then individuals like some of these late night shows were pushing the jab. They had full musical segments about the jab, right?
That's true. Yeah.
And it's just,
wasn't that Canberra? What's his, like Stephen Colbert, who did that
Yeah,
the musical and stuff, and they had
yeah,
like the syringes and everything.
yeah. And this is no surprise, right? Like, because he's been pricking at the bear for a very, very long time. And it kind of comes down to this too. Like I said earlier, he's messing with the money in the total network's money. They're overpaying him for not to be funny. His ratings are low. And then on top of this, he's not a journalist, right? So his responsibility is to be entertaining. They hired him as an entertainer to be entertaining, to be funny, to get ratings, to bring more advertisers to the network. But he's not doing any of those things. So this is a good opportunity to say, finito.
Yeah, part ways with him
Yeah.
because I agree on that. He what has he done for us lately? Like Janet Jackson, right? Um, Everything that's coming towards him is deserved. I think it is harsh, but the reality is business is business, and money is money. And Disney does not own the companies that actually broadcast and throws out. There's these networks that Sinclair and Nexstar. These are that they pick up the Disney, and Disney they show it to the people on the TV. So they're the middleman in this. Disney does not produce and throw it straight to you. The only way you get to do that is at the app. The Disney app is you're going straight to Disney. But Disney broadcasting on television, broadcasting on cable, that has to go through a middleman.
Yep.
And you're not going to fuck with the middleman's money.
Yep.
And Kimball is just a little in the pot.
Yeah. And I think he's crazy. He's getting the money, right? He's $16 million a year or whatever it is. But like, if he's not bringing ratings and the advertisers don't want to spend, this is a perfect opportunity to suspend indefinitely or terminate the show completely, right? Or get a new person in there that's actually can bring ratings and increase their advertiser revenue. That's at the end of the day, that's just kind of what it comes down to, And then some of these companies, man, they don't want radical ideology or bullcrap being spewed on late night TV. This is why late night TV is failing. This is why Gutfeld has one of the highest ranking late night shows now. Not Kimmel, not Colbert, not Fallon. I haven't watched Jimmy Fallon in forever. I think since he left SNL. I
don't remember the last time I've seen him. I don't even remember like what would be a great replacement? Roseanne O'Barr. Bring Roseanne back and have her.
She would tear it up.
The ratings will go skyrocket. That would make so much money.
And that's like the trend, right? Like, not to say it in like a derogatory term, but like the advertisers know that the majority of the population of the United States voted Republican, conservative values and all this other stuff. This is why we're seeing advertisements like with Sydney Sweeney and all these other things. And they're like, oh man, our revenue went up. No, duh, because this is what the majority of people like. The majority of people don't like Kimmel. They don't like Colbert, So it's like, see you later, man.
It's a no-win situation, Colbert, he's super. I feel like he's an agent, and so Kimball too. I feel like they're both agents to like the Biden. I remember for the Biden years and with all that C-19 stuff.
Yeah.
It was very weird with them, and they thought they had unlimited power and they could do whatever and say whatever and never be held accountable.
Right.
And I'm glad that now the system has changed and now we are a law-abiding system where the foot is coming down and the bullshit is going to stop. Okay. Exactly. And then let me tell you something right now. The View, you are the next target and you are on the watch. Because I believe you're the next target to be eliminated. Because this you can't have this. You can't have the View that's just one-sided left and no right, and there's no balance. And what view you're pushing? Your own view. You're not pushing like it should be 50-50.
Yeah. And TV's dead to me. You know, like TV is going down the tank. Like not a lot of people watch TV. They stream shows like this one. They stream shows like other ones. They don't really watch TV. This is just my personal viewpoint, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what Kimmel decides to do. You know, Don Lemon, he left. You know, he got termed from CNN, and he's not doing really much. You know.
No, all of them are really like falling out and not doing much. Look at Jesse Smollett with his crazy shit that he pulled off and that fake attack, and yet he wants to do a documentary and showcase what happened to him, and Netflix is giving him the green light to do it. I'm like, what the fuck are you? That's a hoax. That's not even fucking real. Like, it's already been proven that it wasn't real, and yet you want to still project it as real.
Yeah,
like, that's like, what's going on here, man? I don't know. It's just, I'm happy that things are going the way it's going right now, and I hope, you know, things will get a lot better. I got another video up if you want to watch. It's it just came up. It's through Jason A, which is one of my favorite YouTubers. He just put up a video on the Jimmy Kimmel, and so I just want to take a look at it real quick.
Let's check it out.
All right.
The suspension comes after comments Kimmel made during his monologue about the killing of Charlie Kirk. Those remarks led Nexstar Media, one of the nation's largest station groups, to pull the program from its stations. ABC then followed with its own decision to suspend the show. Here's part of Kimmel's monologue from Monday night that sparked the suspension.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
The president reacting to ABC's decision, saying in part on Truth Social, congratulations to ABC for finally having the courage to do what had to be done. Kimmel has zero talent and worse ratings than even Colbert, if that's possible. That leaves Jimmy and Seth, two total losers on fake news NBC. Their ratings are also horrible due to NBC.
What Kimmel did is inexplicable to me. And maybe he'll come on your show and explain it to you or my show, the No Spin News. He had to know on Monday in his dialogue how raw the country was over this assassination of Charlie Kirk. He had to know that. And to use his monologue, which is usually comedic, to mislead the entire country by implying that MAGA Trump supporters were really behind the murder. To do that, I'm saying you have a battery of writers, you have a producer on your program. Did no one red flag you on this? Did no one say anything about this? This isn't about censorship, all right? This is about responsibility. And as you pointed out correctly, every corporation has a responsibility to make sure the product it is selling is an honest product. And by saying that MAGA might have been responsible for murder, not only is that defamatory, but it's outrageous.
Yeah, Congressman, I see you are wearing a hat. What does that hat say?
You're damn right I am, John. I was a guest on the Jimmy Kimmel Show. He, every night, has a right to come into any house that wants to watch and entertain Americans, just as Greg Gutfeld on Fox has a right to be not funny and go on his network and entertain Americans. It's a part of who we are, John, and frankly, it should shake every American that the President of the United States is out there firing comedians who make fun of him. That is not who we are, and every American should care and stand up to this.
It's not illegal to say Charlie deserved to die, and you're glad he did. They have a right to say that, but we have a right to fire you. You can't walk into the office and say you're into homicide. You can't work at CNN and tweet, I'm comfortable with cold-blooded murder. More people need to be killed. Speech is free, but you're not free from the consequences. If you're glad Charlie's dead and thought he had it coming, I'm supposed to sit next to you in the break room? You're going to teach my kid at school or serve in government? And I'm supposed to just say, free speech. You're advertising that you're a maniac and that you have no decency, compassion, or humanity, that you're indifferent to death. And not just indifferent, you're sickly gleeful. That makes you a threat. That makes you dangerous. It makes you a beast. And what do we do with beasts? We leave them out in the wild.
To preemptively take Jimmy Kimmel off the air.
Look, I mean, you've heard me say this a million times. This country is rapidly moving toward an authoritarian form of society. In authoritarian countries like Russia and others, Saudi Arabia, you do not have a media that is allowed to be critical of the government. Trump just, was it yesterday, the day before, announced a $50 billion lawsuit against the New York Times. Today, the head of the FCC basically says, I don't like what this guy said, and we could take away your license. You better get rid of him. So this is just another step forward. And we have got to, some of us are working really hard to rally the American people, not only against this authoritarianism, but this war against the working class, the massive tax breaks for the rich, the cuts in Medicaid. People should be aware that as a result of this Trump's big, beautiful bill.
The FCC chair, we said we could do this the easy way or the hard way.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we are all just learning about what just happened, not having all the information, but what I'm hearing is pretty outrageous. Look, we can all, of course, agree that political violence is horrific. What happened to Charlie Kirk is horrific. But the idea that someone is going to get pulled off a news program, off a channel that's supposed to be independent, and that ABC is making this decision because of possible political pressure through the president is both stunning and outrageous. And so I think that as information comes out, we've got to understand what exactly happened, who made these decisions. And there's a lot of questions right now. I think the foundation of a democracy is also having a strong, independent news organizations and a strong independent media. And it's a huge important part of democracy. So I'm honestly pretty stunned. I mean, what happened with Stephen Colbert, what's happening right now with Jimmy Kimmel, this cannot be a pattern in the United States. So we've got to stand up and allow the media to be independent.
Well, it is unfortunately a pattern now. We're gonna queue up again in just a second what Brendan Carr, the FCC chair, said on that far right, that right wing podcast earlier today. But first, just because you made the point, Congressman, that what Jimmy Kimmel said was not celebratory or hate speech. Which it wasn't. And again, I will make the point that there are some, including people like Ted Cruz, who came out yesterday and said even that speech is protected in the United States. So I'm not trying to put up that would be some sort of an excuse. I am just pointing out that's not what he said. I want to play again for anyone just joining.
We've got a premiere on one side of the street, outside of the Chinese Theater, and here outside of Jimmy Kimmel Live, a protest is just starting to form here with people demanding the return of Jimmy Kimmel. It has been, again, a pretty chaotic couple of hours here in the front and the back of the studio where it is filmed. But at 6:19 this evening, as we show you this video, NBC captured Jimmy Kimmel leaving Jimmy Kimmel Live, and the studio's here. This is the Jimmy Kimmel Live show, the only late night West Coast show. And here it is, Jimmy Kimmel leaving this evening. We believe that is his wife as well, leaving with him Molly. And the two of them then took off. And just about 45 minutes before that, we also saw Guillermo, his sidekick on the show, who I actually spent some time with recently at the Emmy Awards just days ago. He was in great spirits. Guillermo also leaving the premises.
Do you think in your mind it's possible this might not be real?
I don't know what's real or what's not real. I do know that a news organization anywhere in the world has a responsibility to stand up to government bullying, to government censorship. That is what we do. That is why we exist. Not to knuckle under, not to do what we're told, but to stand up and to say, listen, if you want to pull these licenses, then we're going to go to court. And we'll be in the court of public opinion, but you don't get to go on a podcast and set policy for American media, for an American media institution that's been around a lot longer than me, you, or Donald Trump. This is a red line that has been crossed for our industry, for the First Amendment, for the right of people to speak. There was nothing hateful about what was said, and even hateful speech is protected. This is not acceptable. If you are going to run a media organization, it's called a news organization, you have to stand up to government bullying anywhere in the world, and certainly in the United States.
Well, the job should be to, speak truth to power, even when there are people who don't like the word truth anymore.
Kimmel will probably end up somewhere else. And if big, old-fashioned mainstream media companies don't have the guts to employ these people, then we're going to see startups start to flourish. We talk about the Substack era with people launching newsletters and live streams on YouTube. We're going to see more of that if these old-fashioned media companies can't stand a little bit of pressure from the president.
Yeah, well, but it is stunning to see such a thing happen and to show this world that we're living in.
We have to be very careful about the kind of people we associate with. They aren't entitled to work for us. And these people, sadly, are everywhere. This is more than just a disagreement over the border or crime or politics. We're talking about murder. Would CNN be okay if their producer said, that girl that she had it coming? Of course not. Or the Ukrainian refugee stabbed to death on a train, Irina, deserved to die. Those floods in Texas, that's karma. Hope you can swim. Never. And we're not saying these people should be put in prison. We're saying they're not walking into my office. I'm not letting them hang around my family. I don't want to be anywhere near them.
Freaking Microsoft. Thank you, Jason A. Wait, I'll let you have the first word.
Actually, in the comment section, somebody said that I think it was Terry or Steph or Kayla regarding Family Feud. Is it Family Feud? Let me see. Let me check.
Yeah, I think it was Celebrity Family Feud.
Yep.
Terry.
Yeah, just pulled up the People magazine. People magazine. Jimmy Kimmel Live replaced by Celebrity Family Feud after being pulled to ABC amid host comments about Charlie Kirk. So I guess that Jimmy Kimmel was replaced by Family Feud. So Wednesday, when is this going to air?
Something, I stood up, right? And I got censored from YouTube when I was talking about the C-19 bullshit and a lot of things that were going on. I got censored. I got almost 30 videos taken down from YouTube. And I was censored for speaking up. And now what? Jimmy can say whatever he wants and there's no accountability. But I was speaking truth.
Yeah.
And I got censored.
And just kind of like what we were talking about, right? Like he works for a big company, right? He's an employer of a big company. And if the big companies aren't if they're not generating the rev and the advertisers don't like it and they don't like him, seems like the FCC chair doesn't really like him anyways. It was Brandon Carr. He's going to be canned, because that's just not the way that the country's going.
They don't want to program people with that type of program and get people wired up because they're going to believe anything Kimball says and they're going to take it for truth. And then they're going to radicalize people and commit more harm out there. And because they're going to think, oh, he was a Republican, and then they're going to continue going after these politicians and future leaders that, this is a wild, wild west shit.
Unfortunately, that the situation with this whole thing, is very unfortunate that Charlie, was assassinated in front of hundreds of people, thousands of people. But to continuously see the division between the parties, I think that's the most disheartening thing. They specifically the Republican Party, or excuse me, the Democrat Party. They claim, oh, okay, we're the party of unity, we're the party of of you know, whatever, empathy and all this other stuff. But then when there's a moment of silence request or to have the flags flown at half staff, not necessarily for Charlie Kirk before 9/11, where is the unity? Where is the empathy? Where's the compassion here? And it would be super, super refreshing. And for any Democratic politician out there, it would be super refreshing if a real leader stood up and said the things that everybody wants to, like, that people want to hear, like, hey, what you guys are doing is wrong, you know, and then be a solid representation of what an actual leader is. Because I think that's the most disheartening thing. There is no quality leaders in that party whatsoever. If a leader stood up and said, hey, this is wrong, what you guys are doing are wrong, like, you know, celebrating murder is wrong, celebrating this is wrong. If somebody did that, that party would flip, you know, like that. The whole energy of that party would flip around.
Yeah,
It's gross, man.
Yeah.
It makes me sick to my stomach to think that these are people leading particular pieces in Senate. Some of them are mayors and governors. It's disgusting. It's evil. It's demonic. It's cold. For these people to celebrate murder or just kind of nonchalantly glaze over it, like, what are these people? What, like, who votes for these people?
You know, it's funny because how I think of it is like we have an internal war going on, and the major cities are run by the Democrats, of course, but we got a lot of states out there, and yes, there is more land and so forth, but I feel like the battle is within those cities, and if we don't tackle those cities like Memphis, LA, you know, Portland, you got all around, you know, Chicago, and here Hartford nearby. They just need to do something, and the old ways wasn't working. So we need a drastic change. We need to throw a monkey wrench into the whole mess, and this actually fix it. You know, and we have the military. They're always on standby. They are available. We are in no war, so why not have them go and clean up the streets and get rid of whatever junk is out there, as far as like those child crazy people going after kids and doing crazy shit, and the pedophiles. We got to get them out of here. The murderers, the lunatics, the ones that they release and they came across the border and they're living comfortably in the United States, they need to go back. Like, there's diseases that were brought here and people are getting STDs like every day. They're being exposed, and yet the media ain't talking about it.
No.
So it's like,
it's a grift, you know, in these blue cities, man. It's a grift. You know, they want the slush money, they want the funds, they want these community programs, they want, you know, all this stuff, federal programming money to continuously keep their crime statistics moderately middle ground or high, so they can continuously get funding for these NGOs and programs. But that's not helping the community at all. That's not helping the community be safer. That's not helping tax revenue. That's not doing anything for the community. These people, I'm seeing in my comments, you know, people that live in Memphis, they're like, dude, I'm afraid to go out in these areas. Or when I see people that comment in Chicago, they're like, Chicago's a crap hole, you know? And that's sad for somebody that lives in Chicago, and now they can't sell their house. They can't do anything because their city has become this crime-ridden place like Gotham City, you know?
Yeah, it's
And
been
nobody wants to
overtaken
do
by
anything about it.
gangs. Yeah, they brought them straight from the border, straight into Chicago, and just migrated them into the public, thinking that yeah, they're just human. They're just gonna blend right on in. Like no, like look at the crazy amount of fentanyl and drugs in the street. People dying every day from gun battles. Like you can't just blame it on black people. I'm sorry. Like, no, this is also a Hispanic problem. This is also a white problem. This is a people problem. Okay. It has no color. It's all colors. Like, it's a people problem. And guns don't kill people. People kill people.
Yep.
So it's like, that's why I hate when they automatically, oh, gun control. Oh. I'm like, I've never met a gun that killed anybody.
No, I
Like,
can put my
if it
gun
was a
outside.
cop,
I can put my gun outside in the front of my porch right now. I can put my gun right out there, do this show, come back, and that gun didn't kill anybody.
it didn't do nothing. It doesn't. It has
That
to
gun
be.
didn't get legs, walk up and kill and pull its own trigger. No, that just doesn't happen. Maybe in Harry Potter.
No.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's something that is, I guess, is magic. I don't know. But I keep going back to like the Charlie, right? And I'm thinking of Charlie, and him telling me it's a setup because I keep hearing setup. It is a setup. It's been a setup, and they knew he was going to be the future. They knew he had presidential material. He could have been one of the like the youngest presidents in our generation, and they knew he would have been a threat. So they're like, well, let's take him out young. They said, hey, what happens if we would have taken out Hitler young, right? So let's go ahead and take out Charlie young and, put him out his misery at 31. That's wild, man. And I know it was a setup. It's just, look at the people that got arrested. Like that old man that was like, oh, I did it. I shot him. Shoot me, kill me. Like he was like begging to be killed. Like, you can't tell me. And then the camera, I showed it so many times where the guys, those two guys, they took down a camera, pulled out the SD card, handed it off to the other guy, and the other guy just took off walking. And how come that's not being brought up to Kash Patel? How come Trump is not talking about it? How come Benny Johnson ain't talking about it? Like the only one person that's talking about it is the body language guy on YouTube.
Jose Rios Enriquez, the body language guy.
Yeah, that guy's amazing. Like the information he has, the videos that he has, like, and then he said it was only 5 minutes from the moment Charlie got shot to the moment they took out the cameras. 5 minutes has passed, and they were just taking down the evidence. Like, and it was so suspicious too.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's been set up.
A professor of mine, I had a professor in college, Dr. Guadagnole. We had lunch. We were talking about the situation, and I agree with you. And I also think that maybe, and I'm giving benefit of the doubt here, but I'm also thinking that regarding the indictment from the FBI, they're not publicly releasing a lot of stuff, perhaps. And I understand this in regards of a court perspective, but they're not releasing some of the stuff to the public because it still has to go to court, right? And they don't want to mix that with the court of public opinion, which I understand. But also, back to Dr. Guadagnole, I had watched this shot over and over again, and that same feeling that I got as a kid, because I used to love looking at the JFK footage and seeing what was going on with the JFK footage, and that exact same feeling, like in my stomach, in my chest.
Me too.
When I was watching the JFK footage, I'm like, there's something not right. I think there's shout out to this. I think it's Overton something, but he played it back and forth, and then I went and I watched it again, and I am in agreement, and I got to say this for this channel, but like allegedly, I am in agreement that it came from here. It came from here, and then exited out in the front. But the way that they had set up this trail with this individual, this potential suspect, Tyler Robinson, the way that they had set up, however this was set up, they have created enough conclusive evidence to close the case on an investigating standpoint from a bureau, right?
Tyson, you're telling me that Tyler's a fall guy?
I am.
Because that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling he's a fall guy.
And we've seen this before, like with Sirhan with the MK Ultra stuff.
Yep.
And not to say that MK Ultra creates like Captain Americas and stuff like that, but it creates, at least in my opinion, my perspective, that it creates like individuals that are like very soft-minded or weak-minded individuals, and then it kind of manipulates them into doing things. Now, my thought on this is maybe they said, hey, they had 4 or 5 people, and this is just my personal opinion. They have 4 or 5 people. They said, hey, Mr. Tyler Robinson, you're going to go up on the roof. Your stuff's going to be loaded and all this other stuff. And they had, this is just my, I got to be very careful, but I think that there were multiple people ready and armed, and there was a signal, but nobody really knew where the like who shot the shot. And then they said, hey, this is your flow moving forward. You send these text messages, these pre-written kind of ChatGPT text messages at these particular times to create conclusive evidence that you are the individual that did this.
You didn't see the signs? Listen, I know how to read signs. I'm not stupid. When the hat flick, the pointing. So you're flicking the hat with the point, so you're like this, and then the ear tug. That's like you're cleared to shoot. The other guy, shoot. It's those two. I'm telling you, this is an operation that. It's a rabbit hole, dude. And if I open it, I could expose them easily. It is a group. It is a team, and were part of the crowd. They were in the crowd. You can notice who they are with their backs turned, facing the crowd, and you have the other two doing the crazy things. You have to watch my video when I did that slow motion with those two guys taking that chip out of the camera. That tied into everything. I'm not focused on this kid. Like, I'm not worried about him. I knew, listen, he's the fall guy. Okay. I'm thinking there's others. And they were there.
Yeah.
They were there.
I think other folks were ready and armed. You know, whoever took the shot. But you know, out of the I'm going to call them patsies, but out of the quote unquote, we're running into conspiracy land theory, but like out of the patsies, there's like, okay, you don't know who's going to take the shot, and you run your moving forward. You send your text messages, you send your things, you send your playouts, and then that's that, you know?
Yeah, because like,
and also to say that this
I just read the room.
The lover didn't know anything about it. Like,
yeah.
wow.
Like I read, listen, those text messages scream to me some kind of ChatGPT shit conversation that was put together. I don't know. Something screams weird to me with the text. I see a team, a hit team that was put together, part of the security that infiltrated and pulled out this execution style to take out Charlie. And this is allegedly, but this is what I'm feeling. I am a psychic medium, so I go with my feelings and my theories and what I see and what I hear and what is put together and what Charlie tells me he will set up. he was set up, and he died instantly. Yes, it happened fast. He like his pumps, like after like the 10th pump, like not even like he just bled out, and the system just released the chemical in his body to put him out, and he died instantly. Like by the time they got into the hospital, he was already gone. It's just every theory we have to, because you said conspiracy theory, right? How many times conspiracy theory has been right?
For sure. For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like we put our brains together and we start thinking out loud. That's not conspiracy theory. That's really fucking thinking out loud and trying to solve this case together by putting other brains together. And it's like we're linking up together and we're putting this energy together to figure out this case and figure out what the fuck happened for real.
It's clearly obvious to me. It's clearly obvious to me that something smells like
honey,
like
shit,
like an old can of tuna that's been sitting in a Chevy Tahoe for 3 days, or somebody that you got with that don't smell right.
Wow,
it smells like that.
Disaster.
It just stinks, and I saw that they're already kind of demolishing and redid the area where Charlie was.
Yeah, they already put cement in the area.
And my big question when I was talking to my professor was, if the entry wound comes in here, there's an exit wound in the back.
Mm-hmm.
I asked him specifically because he's a dean at the medical school, so he knows anatomy. And I said, is there anything obstructing if an entry wound comes in here to go through the back? And he was like, no, especially at that caliper. And where's the bullet? Where's the bullet?
Exactly.
Where's the
disappeared.
autopsy report? Where's the autopsy report? Where's this supposed the inscripted bullet? And how do you how was this bullet inscribed? Right? Because you can't laser cut a bullet.
You have to like really scrape it like with something really sharp.
Yeah, but man, it was a lot of work.
You have to really put in. Yeah, you have to put in. You got to put in the. It's not. I would like to see the pictures of that. How come? Okay, how quick was the trans shooter from Minnesota release all the information? Right, it was like that same day, and everything just like spilled beans. Like was put out. I was like, okay, that was pretty quick. Like the trans shooter from Tennessee wasn't that fast. We still haven't gotten the freaking she manifesto. We haven't read any of that stuff. Nothing has been released. So like that's a good question to ask the FBI on that. Second is this trans shooter, or this guy, trans lover, I guess I should call him. He's just something's not right with that story with this trans person, and that person just speaking like a canary, like. And then this guy is super quiet. Like he stopped being cooperative. The Tyler guy, he's Robertson. He's being very quiet and very to himself. It just screams something's not right here, and you're right with the wound because I saw the video, and I know
almost looks like like a slice, like a samurai slice to the jugular, almost right, like a graze. But I really think it came from the back, right? I really think it came from the back. But we haven't seen an autopsy report, and the way that it was all set up, allegedly.
I believe so. He felt it. He told me.
Yeah, it was set up in a manner where it stops it stops investigation from moving forward for other suspects, the way that it was set up.
Yes, because remember, there's a special team. That's a hit team. You know, it's a certain team. It's run. I can't say because I get in trouble, but it's part of the 1% that is in control of some narratives, and this was a really big threat they wanted to take out. And now, what Trump is doing is try to combat that. And it's like, okay, you want to do that? Okay, so we're going to take away your Jimmy. We're going to take away all these like crazy channels that you guys put up for broadcasting, like The View. We're going to take that shit out. We're going to take out all this, strong left wing media bullshit propaganda. Take that shit out. PBS, go kick rocks. There's going to be accountability. Make accountability great again. We got to start selling those shirts.
Yep.
It's already in the market. Tyson DeLacruz store.com.
Yep.
Go get the merch. You get a shirt like this.
Shout out to that. Shout out to that. Steph brought up a good question. She said, here's a question for you both. His dad turned him in. He didn't confess. How did they arrest somebody that way? Good question. Good question, right? At the time, I think I'd have to relook at the timeline, but at the time, I think he was just considered a suspect.
He was a 4.0. He had like what on his on the testing, he was like around his 36, I think. And he maxed really well on tests. Like he did really good, and he got a really nice scholarship. It was like $32,000. Good amount. That was up to how many semesters was it? I think it was like, I forgot how many semesters it was, but I know it was like $32,000. This like story smells like shit. I don't know. There's a lot of shit that's going on. Something screams, nah, he's the fall guy.
How do you think that they arrested him without an actual confession?
And then how come the weapon doesn't even look like in the surveillance camera? The surveillance camera looks like shit. When you get like high definition cameras by now, we're in 2025. We're not like in 1980. Why do we have like choppy footage and we don't have like high definition, like how you're watching me and Tyson? High definition. If we could fucking afford it, I'm pretty sure the fucking colleges could afford high definition cameras. I'm just getting upset. I'm sorry. We're going back to 1980 and then like the guy was hanging off the fucking side of the roof, and then he falls down. Yes, he grabs something from the ground. It's pixelated, so it could be possibly the weapon. But how do you take that kind of big ass caliber weapon, and put it in your pants and walk like a fucking like?
I don't think it was in his pants. I think it was already up there. This is just me personally.
It's a big weapon. That's not a small weapon.
Yeah, and Steph had brought up something. They said they found a screwdriver up there.
Yeah, what else? His underwears and his panties and his girlfriend's panties and
and
maybe
it's like
a pack of Mentos, and he had lunch too. While he was up there waiting. Like, come on. Like,
I personally think it was already up there, maybe in a situation like in a box or under some gravel or whatever. But it had to be already up there because there's been some footage of him walking up or whoever. Now, Jose Enriquez, the body language guy, did a comparison with Lance Twiggs and Tyler Robinson, and they look very similar, especially with the hat and glasses, right? And just all the information is super, super choppy. So, was he already up there? Was somebody else, walking up the stairs? They said he dismantled the gun, and then apparently he put it back together, put it back in the woods, wrapped it in a towel. Why would you take it apart? Why would you leave the gun?
But my question is, the sound when it happens, then when it hits the target was very instantly. Like, doesn't it take a little bit of time for the bullet to get to the target after you take the shot, for the shot to actually sound Like it's not an instant unless you're up close. It's instant, but if you're about 200 plus yards back, it takes a moment for the bullet to hit its target. It's not like it's the thing. Like with the shot, you hear the shot and then it's already, he's dead. Like,
yep. I do think multiple diversion tactics and
especially that old man. I did it. Kill me. I did it.
I want to, can I say this? Like Mo Mossad situation,
Yeah, something fishy, It's very Mediterranean.
Yes, it's very
Very back.
Mediterranean. There we go.
There you go. That's all I can say.
Because they've been able to do a lot of covert operations and things like that. And then, there have been sources that come out that BB had offered Turning Point $150 million. Charlie turned it down. Then there was a situation where he offered to re-engage him into the Mediterranean culture. And he also turned that down. And maybe, I don't know. Like I had recently saw a clip on the PD podcast.
Maybe he also invited him to Israel.
Yeah.
And he never got back to him on that.
Yep. And I had saw some stuff on the PVD podcast with I think the COO of Turning Point, and that kind of seems a little fishy to me, like an old can of tuna. It just and the way that they would do it, this is just me speculating. Not even 3-letter organizations would know the way that they did it, because they do it so conspicuously. I'm not saying that they did,
and
but
you know something? Listen, Tyson, I'm very good at what I do and what I sniff out, right? So I'm gonna show you something real quick. When Cash Patel showed up to Colorado, did he get to speak in the press conference? Nope. He stood there, didn't even say a peep. They didn't allow him. When he requested for a picture of the subject, how long did it take for him to get it? More than 16 hours.
Yeah.
They didn't get it right away.
Right.
Something's fishy, Tyson. Something's not right. It's yes, they have a fall guy, but like something doesn't seem right.
Yeah, and I feel, this is just my personal situation. I feel that, Cash is just like what we saw with the New York situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cash can only get the information that he receives once it's requested, based on their rules, on the way that they work inside that government.
Bullshit. It's all bullshit.
Yeah. So he can only work on the rules that they have, right? Like, or that's there, right? Like he can't go rogue and do an investigation.
He shouldn't have to, though. He's in charge of the FBI. Like the federal government is the lead. Like supposedly is, especially like Charlie Clerk. Like are you kidding me? Like, and then not give him any information, and then he has to go out to Colorado and then get the information, and then go out with Bongino. Because Bongino came along with him.
We saw that with New York too. We saw that with New York, and they were requesting the files, and they said, "Oh, the files are coming. The files are coming." And they only said like 25% of the files, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many people. There's so many people in these organizations, like
corrupt.
That have been there for a while, that have been potentially penetrated by some Mediterranean culture. And it's like they're in there. They're already in there. And it's like, okay, we'll send the files. Here you go. Here's the file. We only have one file. Here you go.
And it's all blacked out. Like everything's all blacked out anyways. There's a lot of black ink. They could have saved all that ink.
And Cash can only work with what he's got, And if they black out stuff and remove stuff before they hand it into him, because he's not directly responsible for those particular jurisdictions, like he's not in the day-to-day operations on those particular situations, like he can only work with what he got. And it's like, the whole thing sucks. The whole thing sucks.
Yeah, it does suck, and it smells bad, and it smells rotten, and it is definitely a big time hit. They knew they had to take him out, and it was pre-planned. Everything was all pre-planned. And he wasn't a friend of Israel big time. He was like, why do we keep fucking sending them money? You know, it was like, we shouldn't be sending them a dime. You know, they yeah, I don't even want to get into it because then
Yeah.
it's just, I know too much already as it is. But something doesn't feel right. And I feel bad in the stomach, like in the bottom part of my stomach. Like, I feel very, like, a lot of pain. It's just this gut wrenching. And the administration is being played. Trump, I hope he realizes. I know he's smart, but I think they trying to keep him like gullible the way he is, and I think it's a play. And I hope he realizes that he needs to be very careful. I don't trust anybody in the government. When the government says I'm here to help, run. Like, don't even stay there. And you saw what happened today, right?
With what?
With his helicopter having to make an emergency landing.
Oh yeah.
I mean, let me see if I could pull that up because
And there was a plane.
that was-
There was a plane that was
Yeah,
super close
also.
to Air Force One 2 days ago.
I reported on it. No, it was yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah, I reported on it yesterday. I was like, "What the? That's crazy. That's but to have his
you know,
helicopter
with the
lose
plane with Air Force One, I know that they have corresponding fighter jets that flank alongside of Air Force One. Not on
Well, I tell
radar.
you this.
So
Listen, those pilots that are in there, they're really they're part of the Air Force. They could run that jet. That jet is very fast. That jet will run laps around the jet coming towards it. That's why they try to develop a bubble around it, which is technically 6 miles, but they really wanted like 10 to 12 miles out. And this jet was called upon 3 times.
Yep.
It wasn't like 1 that they missed, 2 that they missed. No, 3, which is, we're going to fucking blow you out the motherfucking sky. Like, that, this is really bad. And Air Force was never in trouble or anything like that. But those pilots already knew, like, if this people don't respond after the 4th call or they don't call back, we're gunning this. And they have to look at the, oh shit, my camera wants to make a quick appearance. Like, it doesn't even want to go back. Wow. Okay, there we go. I believe like these are little signs because they showed Trump like, we could get close to your plane, like 3 calls missed, and we still got close to your plane. And now here in UK, you have mechanical issues with your Air Force One, and it has to do with your pressure. I wonder. Here, I got the video right here, so we can watch it together. So let me just set it up real quick. But I did report on the airplane yesterday, and that was fucked up. So here's more fucked up news on what happened to Marine One that had the First Lady and Trump on board.
But this is something that we wanted to give you an update on. Marine One has since made an emergency landing after a hydraulic issue. I want to put this up on the screen. This is a
They're trying.
that we have
They're trying
from
to
Fox
eliminate
News
him. They're
speaking
trying to
about
kill
it.
him.
They called it, quote, a minor hydraulic issue. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said that President Trump and the First Lady were forced to switch helicopters after Marine One experienced an issue during Trump's UK visit. Of course, we do know that during that time, President Trump has met with several several other leaders. But they did say there via Caroline Leavitt that out of an abundance of caution, the pilots landed at a local airfield before reaching Stansted Airport. The president and first lady safely boarded the support helicopter. And so to talk a lot more about this and what it potentially means and really get an understanding of what goes on behind the scenes when flying the president of the United States, I now want to bring into the conversation aviation expert Ron Alvarado. Ron, thanks so much for being with us here on Live Now from Fox. We've spoken to you before. You have extensive experience there as it pertains to flying a president. In fact, you were just talking to me about some of the times you've been overseas with the president back in 2004. But first of all, talk a little bit to us about Marine One, what that helicopter looks like and how it typically operates.
Well, as you can imagine, it's a very prestigious helicopter. It's a executive transport for VIPs, primarily for the White House. Very capable airframe. And there were backup aircraft in the vicinity, obviously, flying from one location to another there in the London area. I personally have flown the president from Heathrow, actually from Buckingham Palace to Heathrow in the fog, but we had navigation equipment to get us there safely. So to fly Marine One is very prestigious. People are handpicked to fly that helicopter. So the helicopter itself is very capable. It's very safe. A minor hydraulic leak could be the auxiliary power plant. It could have been one of the hydraulic systems. But please keep in mind, this type of helicopter, even though it's 1950s technology, it is the state-of-the-art availability of what they've got on the market now for that type of airframe. So what I'm saying is there's redundancy in the systems of this airframe. If one section or one type of a system fails, there's a backup. So it sounds like out of an abundance of precaution, they're going to the backup aircraft, which is very prudent, which is what we've done in the past when I was there at the President's Helicopter Squadron.
And so that's helpful for some context there to let us know that this can happen. And when this does, behind the scenes, what is the atmosphere like on the helicopter? Obviously, with you being the pilot, trying to keep a sense of calm, I have to imagine, in a situation that can be very scary for those on board, including the President of the United States.
Well, pilots are trained for this type of scenario where if a system fails, whether it be hydraulics, whether it be an engine, there's two engines on board this helicopter, we go into muscle memory is what I like to describe it, meaning we're trained so extensively that when bad things occur, we know exactly what to do and how to deal with the issue. So I can imagine if there was a caution light that came on or an advisory light in the flight deck, I'm sure the pilot said, okay, here's the plan, here's what we're going to do. They communicated that plan to other aircraft, other agencies, and the Secret Service, the British Protective Services, I'm sure they've went into overdrive to deal with the situation. And where they landed, I'm sure it was a part of the plan. If something does go wrong, they're going to land at location.
And so when we're talking about some of the airspace there, as well as we're taking a look, this is some footage that we have from Marine One landing in different locations around the UK. This footage is from earlier this week. Of course, we know the president was there on a highly anticipated state visit. But Ron, I want to talk to you a bit about the airspace there in the United Kingdom. Is it much different? London, of course, having Heathrow Airport, one of the busiest airports in the entire world. How does that airspace affect how those decisions are made when flying a president around?
Well, whenever the president of the United States or the vice president or heads of state are flying in any airspace anywhere in the world, there's a TFR. That's a temporary flight restrictions. In other words, no aircraft are going in that bubble, that airspace that is protected for VIP transport. So referring back to the time where I flew from Buckingham Palace to Heathrow, no aircraft were in the air. In fact, I remember on short final at Heathrow, there were a line of 747s and heavy aircraft waiting to take off, but they couldn't because Marine One was in the air. So the protected airspace by Marine One as they're transiting, it's very safe, very protected, and there could even be combat air patrol above where the helicopters are flying based upon the threats. So this is one of the most protected helicopters on Earth, and I guarantee you the president was in very good, capable hands. No issues whatsoever as far as danger is concerned.
And when it comes to what happens with that handoff, we did hear there from Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary, that they were transported, the president and the first lady, to a support helicopter. When that happens, are the same pilots from that initial Marine One craft the ones piloting the new craft, or are these others that they have on standby in the area in case a disaster or anything that it makes it so that they need to evacuate the initial craft? Are they the ones who fly that new aircraft?
So it all depends upon the SOPs, the standard operating procedures for the squadron, HMX-1. The commanding officer, if he were flying, he would more than likely land and go to the backup aircraft. In other words, kicking out the pilots from the backup aircraft. Or the Marine One pilot who's tasked with that mission in the primary aircraft, he could go with the backup aircraft, or he could stay where he is, and another Marine One pilot stands in place. So bottom line, I don't know what transpired. You could look at the footage, if there is any, of what the pilots did getting to the helicopter prior to the president getting aboard. But there's usually a very, very smooth transition from one helicopter to the other. The Secret Service, they practice for this every day, and so do the pilots. So going from one helicopter to the backup, it's a seamless, smooth transition. The president and his dignitaries are never, never in danger whatsoever.
And that was my last question I was going to ask you. What does that security look like? I have to imagine so much is done ahead of the time before the president boards initially Marine One, and to have that sort of change over in direction and what they need to do. Is the Secret Service already on standby to have some of these plans made ahead of time to make sure that is a peaceful transition?
So these lift operations, these missions are thoroughly planned and briefed, usually the night before or the morning of. So the Marine One commander, the person who's actually conducting the mission with the president aboard, he or she is running the show, kind of orchestrating how the operation is going to go. And they're always briefing contingencies, the what if we lose an engine? What if we lose a system? Where are we going to go? So this was probably more than likely already briefed. The DoD support aircraft, Department of Defense aircraft, primarily Air Force, U.S. Air Force helicopters stationed in England, they were probably standing by. There could have been backup Secret Service in those helicopters. I don't know the security. I have an idea because I've lived the world, but I guarantee you things were kicked into overdrive. Standard operating procedures were in effect, and they safely got the president of the United States from one helicopter to the next helicopter and on their way to his destination.
Well, we certainly appreciate you being with us here on Live Now from Fox. Ron Alvarado, our aviation expert. In a day and time when we hear about so many things happening between helicopters and planes, it's nice to know that, as Ron is saying there, those Secret Service folks and those who are pilots of the president's helicopter are in safe hands and making sure they make that adjustment quickly and safely. We appreciate you for joining us here on Live Now.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is crazy. Trump needs to be careful. This is like, I feel like this is like we're at war. Okay. Venezuela. There's a lot of crazy shit happens. You gotta understand. Cocaine is a very powerful drug. And if you cut that supply and you cut people's habits, they're going to go a little crazy. Okay? And I feel like a message was sent 2 times during this trip. The plane that they couldn't get in contact with 3 times, which was the Spirit Airlines, I believe. Listen to the name, Spirit. Right? Now in UK with this emergency landing with Marine One, which the First Lady was in also. It's just a lot of like, subliminal messages that's just coming to me. Trump needs to watch out. It's just these people, he has their attention, and I don't think he realized that they have to control. They still have control. And they have the money and they have resources, and the fact that they classify Antifa as a domestic terrorist group, it's gonna be outrage in all schools, because you gotta understand, Antifa is like all over this country. How are they gonna like combat that here in America?
Yeah, that was what I saw that today regarding classifying Antifa as a terrorist organization.
That's wild.
They're going to be diving into some where the money goes, where the money goes, where the money flows. You know. It'll be interesting to see how this kind of unfolds.
I just don't understand 2 incidents in one trip. It should be 0 incident at all. 2 incidents in one trip. Even Trump was joking in the plane. He's like, "Yeah, I hope we make it back home. Like, you're safe in this plane, but you know it's been very fucking crazy this trip." He knows. I think he gets it. He's like, gotta be careful. You can't trust everybody.
Yeah.
Like, these people in Washington, you think they're your friends? They're the biggest hypocrites. And your friend can be your enemy.
Yep.
I don't even trust a lot of people in the Republican Party. So don't get it twisted. It's just I see them for who they are. That's all. I don't care what party affiliation or nothing. It's like the energy calls, and then I just go right to it. And I just feel Trump needs to watch his back. JD Vance is ready. He is. But he kind of reminds me of Johnson. And this is, I don't know why. It's just happening in my head. It's just, are we going to replay the fucking 60s again? Is Vance truly ready to take over this country and be leader of this country? Because he has little ticks that are starting to bite. And we're talking about Gavin Newsom and others that want to take that person, you know, being president. Yeah, the future is very bright, but Vance needs to be also like, he can't overextend or overexpose himself. Like, don't show all your cards, you know. Don't be too open. And I think Vance is being a little too gullible. Like, he just needs to like just let it be. It'll play itself out when he could do. But like, I just feel like he is ready. He's ready to take over. I don't know. Trump is already. I don't know if he's gonna make it through his 4 years. I want him to, but the ones to be the 1%, the ones that are in real control, they don't like him.
Yeah,
and they're very powerful, and they could, anyone in that White House could be the enemy. We already know there's enemies already within the United States.
Yeah.
They don't televise it because they're not going to say, "Oh, they're all here." Like, the enemy is already here. They're trying to figure out who it is. They can't. They're going to try to go through the immigration and try to get all these people vetted out, but the enemy is already here. And I wouldn't be so trustworthy if I was Trump. I wouldn't be like accepting invitations to walk around Memphis or walk around anywhere. Like, don't be JFK. Like, stay at the White House, continue doing your work, and when you get a chance, go hit some fucking greens. Like, go out there and go to the tees and smack them down the field and enjoy these nice golf trips. But stay away from public events, especially these cities like Memphis, Chicago, anywhere in California, New York. New York, what's going on? Are we the United States or are we the divided states? Because they're acting very divided. Like, they're not acting part of the United States. They think they're their own little country. What's up with that?
New York, Chicago's in there too.
Like, no, but New York, right? Because we have Hochul. She's there sending her like she's endorsing this, I would say, traitor to a country. This is communist. What's his name again? Zombie or something. Zombie.
Yeah. Yeah.
some kind of Asian, or not Asian, but foreigner, right? He's definitely Middle Eastern, out there area, so forth, thinking. And he's kind
Mandani.
of like
Mandani. Thank you.
Madani. Okay, thank you.
I was gonna say Mohammed, but
Yeah, well, we're
Same,
somewhere
same.
out there. Yeah, his thinking, socialism, and how his ways that he wants to commit has been tested already, and they don't work. And the fact they want to try that in New York, where you have the Wall Street is in fucking New York City, like your wealth, your the country is supposed to be in the heart of New York, and that heart is like having cancer in it, and it's being rotted away, and nobody's stepping in to help fix it. The people keep bandaging it, and I feel like all these bandages are peeling off. And what you wanted to like stop beating, and then the country dies. That's what, like, how are we gonna let a city state of New York divide us and be not of the U.S.? Like, I don't get it. Are you part of the U.S. or not? If they are and they're pledging allegiance, well, guess what? You need to follow what we're doing.
For sure.
And if you can't, step the fuck off. Like, step to
sure.
the side. Somebody else could come in and they could take over. Like, why the power hungry grab that they want so badly? And why do they want this communist individual to come in and dictate and challenge Trump? That's what they want. They want him to beat Trump. Like Letitia James says. I don't even know how she's still working. How is she still how is she still DA of New York? How is she the Attorney General? How is she still employed?
It's wild, man.
Like,
Because
if it was
you know,
me,
you know how those court systems work, right? They
listen. If you go, if, like any one citizen do a crime, they'll end up in jail.
Yeah, but
Like, no
that's the
questions
thing.
asked.
You're not talking about any quote unquote regular citizen. You know, you're talking about the DA of
Yeah, but
of New
what
York, right?
what that makes her like she can't be held accountable?
That's
So,
that's
accountability.
the racket. That's the racket. They have all those folks in there. They have all those folks in there that run the same game. The prosecutors, the juries, all this other stuff that run the same game.
Zohan,
Greasing,
yes.
greasing each other's palms, and this is the result that you get. You know, it brings me, dude. I had this situation. I was in this lawsuit from 2000. I don't know. It started in like 2017 or something. Ended in 2019. It was long. Anyways, we went to arbitration. Those of you that aren't familiar with arbitration, you sit at the table, two individuals on each side. You know, the attorneys ask questions, all this other stuff. My attorney coached me through, you know, what to say and what not to say. Anyways, we were going through this situation, and I was, because the situation happened so like several years before that, and there were some details. They were asking me specifically detailed questions about things that I didn't have documented. And I was like, I don't recall, or whatever the situation was. Anyways, we take the attorneys were like, okay, we're going to take a break. I'm like, great. I go to the bathroom. My attorney walks in. He's like, hey, you know, you're doing good, blah, blah, blah. The other attorney walks in. And this is when I found out, this is when I found out. I was like, oh, this system is funky. The other attorney walks in and says, hey, can we finish this up? Can we wrap this up? Anyways, we have this candid conversation in the bathroom. We all agree. We go out there, we close arbitration, and then everybody goes home. And I was sitting in my car after the situation, and I was like, wow, this is how this game works. This is how this game works.
Something, I've been through that same phase too, Tyson. But imagine having about 15 people on the other side, and you're the one on the other side. So it's 15-1. Well, actually, not one, because my attorneys were there. So I had 3 attorneys on my side. So it was like me and 3 attorneys against 15 others. And all of them had to represent themselves and state the company they work for, and one by one. And we're here representing, and it's like down the line. And you got to look them all in their face, and then they got to. It's a whole story. That's a whole different. I talk to you. That's a private time. Not for YouTube, but I know how it is to be in that position, in that pressure, and then your attorneys are like trying to tell you what to say. It's like, I got this. It was like, let's do this. I'm ready. It's like, are you ready? I was like, man, let's get this started.
Yeah. But to go back what you were saying, man, like all those folks grease each other's palms out in New York, like that system is corrupt, like Chicago, like all these dirty prosecutors, dirty cops, dirty situations going on. Like they're embedded in the culture. They're embedded in the grift of it all.
Yep. And no accountability, no justice for them. Everything they think they could get away with. Lakeisha James, I mean, that's going to be very interesting for her 2026. She'll end up having to leave as the Attorney General, I mean, for New York. They can't just take her off because she has cases open and that she's, her office and her people are working on, and it's not easy to bring in a new attorney general and then have them just get to work. It's not like that. You want to go in with your own people. You want to go in with your team. It's not easy being the backup quarterback and then have to go in there and be like, all right, let's win the Super Bowl. Like it's a little tough. Okay. It's not that easy, and New York is very slimy. I know that for sure. I live right next to it. I know. It's their residue comes here to Connecticut, and we have to deal with their shit.
The residue.
Yeah, it is. It's the residue, man, because they're slimy. They're slimy. But Tyson, if you need to get going, man, you're welcome to.
What else? What else you got? What you gonna show?
That's about it right now. I mean, I had the landing, which is crazy. Unless you want to get into something here.
Real quick, Steph says this is why local elections are so crucial, and I'm glad that you brought that up because that's so important. Like local elections are very important. And what's really unfortunate is like these places like Baltimore, New York, Chicago, Detroit, all these other places where it's predominantly Black individuals, like what we talked about before. They complain about the elected officials, but they are the one of the lowest demographics to vote.
Yeah, and you need to really focus on your U.S. congressional candidates too. Because they are very important for Congress, and a lot of them, they'll get attention because they're not like presidential races and important races like governor races and so forth. And sometimes these congressmen and women don't really get the attention, and then they fall like in the cracks, and they're like they'll put anybody in there, and then you get someone like Jasmine Crockett and AOC, and it's like, what the fuck? Like for real, like what the fuck is going on here? That we
Yeah.
got Crockett and AOC, and then you got Booker.
Oh my
that
gosh!
was
Did you see Cory Booker? Did you see
Cory
him?
Booker. Like he
Did
was
you
so
see him
angry.
with
He was
Pat
like,
Patel?
"My time. You don't tell me my time. I
Yeah.
know my time. My
Dude,
time.
he's such a
My
simp.
time."
He's such a simp. He's
And he was so angry. He was so
yeah.
animated. But the whole time, I was like, I wrote you a text, Tyson. I was like, I need to make you a shirt that says "Read the script."
Yeah.
So the whole time he's like this, and he's reading like word from word from a script, and then he would look, and he'd be like, "La, la," and then he'd go back, and he'd be like, and then he's reading again, and then he comes back out, he's like, and he starts like going off. I'm like, what is going on with this guy? Is
This
he having
dude
seizures?
so emotional. Emotional damage.
Yes, for real.
So
The guy,
emotional. I'm like, bro, this is the poorest representation of leadership I've ever seen in my life. Cash did cook him, you know.
Cash cooked him. He cooked Adam Schiff. Adam
Yeah, he
Schiff,
did. He did.
oh my goodness, that was priceless. I actually watched it because I actually showed the whole thing here,
Yeah.
especially in the Senate. That was hot. It was entertaining, but man, you could feel the difference. Like when the Democrats started talking, it was very negative, very January 6th, very like all this anger and hatred, and you're not doing your job, and you're not gonna be here anymore, or you're gonna get fired, and like all this fire energy, like they wanted to kill him, and then the Republicans are like, "Yo, you're doing your job, man. You're doing awesome. Keep
Yeah.
going."
Like, yo,
the more resistance,
they didn't talk about how many busts they got going on.
no,
How, like record-breaking busts,
no,
fentanyl stoppages, child
no,
trafficking
no,
situations. Like they didn't talk
no,
about any of that. They just
no.
went
They're
straight
worried
to,
about
you know,
they're
am I
worried
going
about
to be on the list of the
Epstein.
from your book? Am I still going to be on the list? Are you going to take me off
Yeah,
the list from
the
your
black
book?
book. Yeah, the black book. Like, can you provide all the names in the black book and the Epstein files and all about Epstein? And yeah, we know Clinton didn't do shit. We know Obama didn't do shit. Like with the Epsteins, like they didn't do nothing about with Epstein or put him up or put him in jail, put him or get him for what he was doing. No, they were participating with him. That's the difference. Clinton was participating with Epstein. And a lot of powerful people that are in that list, they cannot just expose them because then we have a problem, a big problem.
For sure, because
And
there's webs,
yes,
at least in my opinion, that kind of potentially overspray. You know, like when you spray paint something, there's a little overspray in some other territories that it gets pickly. You know,
mm-hmm.
and if you do that, if you say, hey, here's the whole situation, it's not going to look good.
Yeah, it's like it's not even gonna feel good. It's just something's not right. And the Democrats, the energy, right, was very dark. And I wonder what infiltrated the darkness into that Democratic Party. Because it
Devil.
felt like, yeah, it feels really dark. Like they've done a ritual and they're kind of like hypnotized by it. And they're just speaking out of anger and hate and not really coming up with anything positive, maybe to combat maybe what their Republicans think that they want to do, and maybe they could come up with something positive. Not one time they come up with anything positive. Everything was so negative and full of hate and full of anger. And like
That's what I'm saying, man. It would be so refreshing. And I don't want to give the Democrats any playbooks, but like it would be so refreshing, if an actual leader stood up there and commended the things that are going on in this administration
mm-hmm.
and not do this blame game bull crap situation. because that just creates more division, you know. And then you
Mhm.
have your little folks, your little minions, your little sheeple that will continue to follow you regardless of what you say, you know.
Mhm.
And you know, because people are like, "Oh, Jasmine Crockett's the best. Cory Booker's the man."
Mhm. AOC is the greatest leader
Yeah,
ever.
yeah.
Like I like they're showing their true
Oh
selves.
yeah,
And I just feel like more's to come, right? And why we have not had accountability yet from these individuals? How come Adam Schiff like continues to like be interactive with the public?
I don't even know why
Why
he still has
do
a job.
yeah? Why a microphone keeps coming to him and with a camera and having him have his little 15 minutes of fame speaking on his feelings and what he thinks. Like, we don't care what you think. You're crooked. You're untrustworthy. You are a traitor. And you not even shouldn't even be here in Washington. You should be behind bars, like for all your crimes that you have committed. But yet you're getting away with it, and there's no accountability. That's like once you reach like some sort of power that you're untouchable. This feels like the Clinton like energy. Like Clinton could delete all these emails and delete all these information and then not be held accountable at all.
Obama's
Like
too.
not yeah, and Obama too, like they go like not even like not even a tap. Not even that soft little not even a little hair. Not even gets touched. Like they act untouchable. Like Trump needs to break that and bring accountability back and get these guys and gals into a courtroom and bring justice like for all.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like there's this internal system of corruption needs to stop. And
You
I
know what
think
this
that's what
reminds me of, man? You ever seen that movie Ghost Rider or the
yeah.
comic book Ghost Rider?
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't remember Johnny something. He was
Mhm.
the character of Ghost Rider. Those of you that don't
Mhm.
read comic books, but he signed. Yeah, I think something was happening. He got in an accident or something, and he signed his soul to the devil.
Mhm.
And that's what this party reminds me of, you know, just signing it away to get the slush money, to get the power. They
Mhm.
sold their souls to sit in those seats. And that's probably the most disgusting thing.
Mhm.
There's a reason why these folks got rich making $150,000 a year.
Wow.
You know, like
Yeah.
how did AOC increase her worth? How
Yeah,
did
and
Adam
Pelosi.
Schiff
How
increase his
did
net worth?
how did Pelosi become the greatest trader and God knows like in all human beings like ever? Like her portfolio is so perfect. Like she's never really taken a really truly hit. She's just been getting richer, richer, richer off of how much does she get like yearly? It's like
I think it's like 230 or something.
230,000,
Yeah.
and she pulls in how much a year? Like
It's like 30
it
million
doesn't
or so.
it
It's great.
doesn't add up. Yeah, the
Johnny
math don't.
Blaze, thank you. Johnny Blaze.
Yeah, yeah, it doesn't. The math doesn't add up. It's just. And you know something, they're going after Venezuela, right? And that's gonna cut off a lot of cash flow, a lot of drug flow, a lot of like networks here in the U.S.
Mhm.
It's going to be very impactful for the streets and
This is why we're seeing you know, like last Thursday, you know, we were talking about the new opioid stuff. You know, this is
yeah,
why these new synthetic opioids are coming out.
yeah,
That is they got to figure out other ways to generate their revenue, you know, because like trafficking is
hmm
down both on human level and drug level. and they're like, you know, these people have established themselves in these organizations, these criminal enterprises, as, you know, pushing drugs, so they got to come out with new stuff because they're getting popped where it's being originally made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's something that it's infiltrating. And it's all different types of new drugs that are happening. Let me put out one here. I'm gonna put out a video.
Yep.
On a drug that they're trying to. There's just so many of them. Let me see. What is this one? Okay, we can check this one out. Okay. Yeah, this one. Let me see. Okay, we can see this one. So we have a series. They're kind of short. They're like 2 minutes long each. About, but I gotta set them up each. So they find other ways to drug us and to make their money because they are taking a hit. They are taking a financial hit, and these cartels, they don't really care about people. They don't care. They don't care about your life. All they care about is the money that's coming.
I want to say this too, because, you know,
Yeah, go ahead,
with the drugs, with the opioids, with the fast food, with the synthetic stuff in the foods and all this stuff, they want to keep people slow. They want to keep people slow.
Mm-hmm.
And they're removing all that stuff, and people are finally waking up to see what's actually happening here. But yeah, go ahead.
No. You have a thought, and I like it. I just feel like the drug epidemic that's going on, and since they can't bring in like Venezuela, they're cutting off the lines of like sneaking out and getting these speedboats and blowing them up. We already destroyed a second one, and I'm pretty sure a third one will happen soon. And we're trying to cut the drug line. A lot of these drugs, what they used to do is they used to bring them to the islands. So they will bring them to Puerto Rico, and then from Puerto Rico they would bring it to the United States. Now, a lot of like certain people would get paid off, especially on the cruise lines. They would sneak in with luggage, and they would get a special priority, and they would not get checked, and they would bring in drugs that way. And I think the FBI and CIA should look into that. Homeland Security should look into that too, because I feel like a lot of drugs is being transferred and moved around through cruise ships. So, and people can be paid off. That's what I'm just saying. People, we could trust people, but people, the ones that you trust the most, can be the ones that can stab you in the back.
Yep.
So just be careful out there. So let's go ahead and show this real quick. Let me set this up, and you got like 3 short ones, but they're all about drugs.
A new drug has been making the rounds in our region, and officials are warning that it can be deadly. It's called Fly Sky, and our Chris DeRose has more on what the public needs to be on the lookout for.
Here in Fayette County over the last few days, there have been at least 2 overdose deaths from a drug called Fly Sky, and now officials want people to be aware that this drug is in the community. The drug Fly Sky, as it's sometimes labeled on bags sold on the street, is heroin laced with medetomidine, which is a tranquilizer used in veterinary medicine. Fayette County District Attorney Michael Abel says that users need to be aware that this drug can be lethal.
My understanding is that medetomidine is a drug that is not affected by Narcan. So if you overdose on medetomidine, Narcan is not going to save you.
Abel says that anyone who may have a bag of this Fly Sky drug can turn it into authorities at several places in the county, including local police stations and the Crime Stoppers office. No questions asked. He also says that not only are local and state police working to get these drugs off the street, but that his office will prosecute those who are responsible for delivering these drugs into the community.
We want people to be safe. We want everybody to be alive and to be healthy. You just don't know what you're getting anymore on the street.
Now, not only is this drug popping up in Fayette County and the Pittsburgh area, but it's also being seen in places like Philadelphia and Chicago. We're going to have more information about this drug with this story on our website, kdka.com. But for now, reporting in Uniontown, Fayette County, Chris DeRose, KDKA TV News.
Okay, here goes the next one.
A sobering message from doctors. Earlier in the newscast, Lourdes Duarte told us about nitazenes, the newest drug to hit the streets.
Medical reporter Dina Baer has that warning from doctors. This new drug is the deadliest.
It's 20 times more powerful than fentanyl. Nitazenes are a class of opioids now found in pills and powder sold on the street. And while Narcan can help reverse an overdose, it may take much more.
They date back to the 50s when academic chemists were looking for ways to create opiates without using the poppy plant.
They figured out that a nitazene does attach to an opioid receptor, but they actually didn't like how potent it was, so no one ever brought it to market.
Still, the formula is available in the medical literature, and now it's in the hands of drug dealers.
The fact that metanitazene's in the drugs means that they are using very, very contaminated drugs.
Dr. Jenna Nicolaitis is just starting to see the drug in circulation, confirmed by advanced testing, known to be 20 times more powerful than fentanyl.
When you look at what's happening to the heroin supply, there's just more and more additives.
The Roche emergency and addiction medicine specialist says the new additive does not show up on standard urine screens or on the harm reduction test strips she distributes to drug users, hoping to reduce their risk for the more dangerous additives infused into street drugs.
You test a sample bag of heroin and it has like maybe a little bit of heroin, a little bit of fentanyl, a little bit of metanitazene, a little bit of cocaine, a little bit of sedatives, a little bit of crushed pharmaceuticals. So sometimes quinadine's in there, Benadryl's in there. Sometimes if a nitazene's opioid's in there, it's a garbage bag of drugs.
Like heroin and morphine, nitazenes attach to receptors in the brain and cause depression of the central nervous system. In the case of an overdose, the respiratory system slows to dangerous levels. The signs are clear. You can't wake the person up. They have pinpoint pupils, slow or non-existent respirations, and a low heart rate. But what's not clear? How many doses of Narcan it will take to reverse an overdose if nitazene is present.
Whatever you were going to give, 1 or 2 vials, I'd go up to 4.
Dr. Anthony March has been in practice since the 1980s.
If you're going to use a drug, it may be one time and you're out. You may not even be addicted. It could be some kid. His friend said, "Hey, try this. I heard this is really good. I took it last night. You'll like it." One and done. It's really terrible.
He worries users won't get enough Narcan if bystanders don't see results after the typical 1 to 2 doses it takes to reverse an overdose, either by nasal spray or injection.
That's a real problematic decision point. And if it is still the narcotic and you back off too soon on the Narcan, they could die. I mean, that's how potent it is. So don't be afraid to give up to 4 vials or 5 vials. And it's like, if anything happens where they start waking up or whatever, you're on the right path. This is an opiate.
But there's another worry.
I'm detecting nitazene opioids in the opioid using patients that are having a harder time quitting. So I think the nitazene opioids actually also deepen addiction.
Even first-time users are at risk.
If you mix up the bag or you get the wrong bag and your tolerance isn't that high and you get the nitazene bag, then maybe you overdose and die.
Yet another drug has the potential to be even more deadly. Xylazine, also being added into street drugs, is an animal tranquilizer. It's not an opioid. Therefore, naloxone or Narcan may not be effective to reverse an overdose, depending on the xylazine concentration in the drug cocktail and what else is in the mix.
There we go to the next one.
Law enforcement officers at the southern border work every day to stop drug smuggling, but drugs still manage to get through the southern border like fentanyl. Now the DEA is warning that smugglers could use those same routes to bring in nitazene.
Nitazenes are synthetic opioids similar to fentanyl. They were created in Switzerland about 60 years ago to treat pain, but were never approved for use in the U.S. They're now starting to appear more frequently on the streets. Over the past 6 years, nitazenes have been detected in more than 4,000 drug seizures in the U.S.
There's quite a few of these nitazene drugs, and we're finding various products within this new category or this emerging category of opioids with increasing frequency when we do our drug testing.
Banner Health toxicologist Brian Kuhn says that while nitazines are being detected, fentanyl is still more commonly found. However, he says nitazines are just as potent, if not stronger, and can easily lead to overdose. While overdose deaths are declining nationwide, people are still dying every day, with at least 5 deaths in Arizona daily. Local EMT Colton Moore, who responds to these cases, is calling for more to be done. He lost his mother to an overdose in April, something he never thought he'd have to face.
Don't ever get to hug her again. And she was my world. She was my rock. She was my everything.
The DEA has cautioned that Mexican cartels may leverage their established connections with Chinese suppliers to acquire nitazines and traffic them into the United States using some of the same routes used for fentanyl.
We're speaking about a drug that's even worse than fentanyl, and that says a lot.
Emmanuel Botello, a police officer in San Luis near the border, says they have not seen nitazines coming through yet. His team works with Customs and Border Protection and says the drug is more common on the East Coast, but could spread, which means they'd have to take new measures.
Given the potency that nitazines are stronger than fentanyl, we know that chances are most likely we're going to have to deploy more Narcan packages than the typical that we have to do with fentanyl.
As substance use disorders continue to be an epidemic in the U.S., advocates like Moore hope to raise awareness and provide more education.
I think that everybody really should think about this because it can happen to you.
It is illegal to possess nitazine in the U.S. Here in Arizona, state leaders have taken an even stronger stance. In May, Governor Hobbs signed a bill criminalizing the drug and classifying it as a narcotic, making it illegal to possess, consume, sell, or transport the drug. Reporting live in Yuma, Alexandra Rangel, Arizona's Family.
All right. Well, what do you think about that?
That's wild, man. I had to look up this nitazine while they were talking. So it's been around for a while.
Yeah. Comes from Germany.
Appearance and effects similar to, yeah, it's like this is why you don't take pills from random people. Oh, I got a headache. Got a headache medicine? No, I'm good. I'll just drink some water. I'll get my pill when I get home or whatever.
And if you're gonna get any drugs, make sure you get it from your doctor.
Yep.
Because they're the only true drug providers that can provide you what you need when you need it.
This is wild because like college students and people that buy street drugs, some of this stuff is mixed in with those street drugs, man. We saw this with the fentanyl. And then I looked up this other one that was metatomine. So it was the tranquilizer. Tranquilizer, general anesthetic. And something that came up too was they relate some of those effects with ketamine also.
But that skyfly, fly sky, that's what they call it.
Yeah,
well, that's affecting up here in the Northeast, up in like in the Pittsburgh area, up here in the Northeast. That skyfly, it's fly sky. I think it's being brought through Canada, and it's affecting the people here. And it's like it's worse than fentanyl.
Yeah, both of these. The like OD symptoms, slow, shallow breathing, bluish, grayish eyes, coma. What? Yeah, man. Who does? Honestly, who's like, man? I want to get jacked up tonight, man. I want to go in a coma.
I know, right? I want to take something I've never taken. It's from someone that I never got it before, but they told me it was super good. So let me go ahead and let me just spend the $50 on this one little pill that's going to bring me so much happiness, right? And the next thing you know, you stop breathing, you die.
Yep.
Because you put trust in someone that you don't even know. and people are too gullible and too friendly, and then it leads to, and especially if it's a friendly drug, it's not good, and it's killing people, and they try to kill us from within, and the only way they could do it is with the medicine.
Steph and Terry brought up a good point. Terry said, over the counter, like in regards to headaches, obviously just go over the counter. Like I don't take pills from anybody. I actually don't even. The only pills that I take are my vitamins. But Steph says they're stamping them too, and that was something that I recognized over the past couple of weeks is that they were stamping prescription drugs.
Yeah.
Or stamping these drugs to make them look like prescription drugs. They were making them look like, ibuprofen or whatever it is.
Oxycodone with the M. They'll put the M and they'll put the number in the back.
Yep.
They'll put the 30 on it. They'll put the M30, and it'll look just like an M30, just identical with the whole toughness of everything. But it's tainted, and it's fentanyl. It's not oxycodone, and it could be very deadly if taken. And I just feel like they're trying to kill the people here, man. They're like, man, we're at war, right? We have to use everything we can.
This keeps the general population slow. Keeps that third eye closed. Keep the food slows people down. The fluoride slows people down. The drugs keep people slow, keep them like zombies. Then they don't know the difference between a conspiracy theory or what's actually happening. This is what happens.
And then the TV with Jimmy Kimmel slowing your mind even more down. And now they put a stop to it. So now you get to watch Family Feud, like, Celebrity Family Feud. I mean, to be honest with you, I'd rather without the fucking celebrities. I don't care about the celebrities. They're the problems. Don't bring more problems.
Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, don't bring more problems. Don't bring celebrities.
Right. Yo, the other thing that I see a lot in these gas stations, in these smoke shops, in these places, they're selling kratom.
Yes, kratom here too.
Kratom is very similar to an opioid. It has very similar properties as opioids, and it creates a codependency. I think honestly, the kratom should be a scheduled situation. You should not be able to buy that at a 7-Eleven. 18-year-olds are buying it. It has the same principles as I'm reading some of these things: the shallow breathing, the passing out. Like, it has those same symptoms, and they're selling the kratom to kids. It's dangerous, man. The kratom is bad news.
And the fact that you can pick it up I could go, actually, you know what? I'm going to go tomorrow and I'm going to pass by a store where they sell kratom, and then just take a picture, and it can show you all the advertising that they do in front of their stores to get people to go in and buy the kratom. It's despicable. I mean, I think it should be illegal, but that's just me.
Yeah.
That kind of reminds me of remember the K2?
Yep.
Remember the K2? And they were like the synthetic marijuana, and people were smoking that to not test positive for marijuana. And then the shit was that the people were going crazy when they smoked the K2, and they were jumping out the window, and they were hallucinating.
Same thing with the Delta 8. They have the strand of cannabis or whatever it is that doesn't test, and it's the Delta 8. Same principles, but it's all like synthetically split and manufactured. But with that kratom, man, like, the kratom is bad news, man. People use kratom to get off of opioids, but then they end up getting addicted to kratom.
Mm-hmm.
Just like methadone, like, oh, you're addicted to meth. Let's give you methadone. It's our legal FDA approved meth.
Yeah. It's like, how are you gonna combat one drug with another, and then have them like, I don't know. I guess to get them not to go back to the hard stuff. I mean, if they find a will, they're gonna find a way.
Yeah.
You know, it's just.
And these drugs that are synthetically made, bad news. Bad news, man. I don't know if you remember a couple, what was it? 2010 to 13, 14, when all these pain clinics were popping up in Florida.
Oh yeah, I remember. I lived in Florida.
You got pain. You got pain. Come in.
Listen, Tyson, I could give you a story. All right, I was a plant operation manager for a commercial building in North Miami Beach, Florida, and in that building there was nothing but attorneys, doctors, surgeons, abortion clinic, and a pain management clinic. The pain management clinic gave me the biggest fucking headache of my life because the amount of people that came through. I mean, we're talking about over 50 patients, like waiting inside the room, in the hallway, outside, smoking up cigarettes all over the place, dirtying up the place. Like I had to put them in their place and tell them, listen, you cannot bring all 50 people out here at one time. It's just not going to happen. Your limit is 5 to 10 patients at a time, and if you can't, we don't have the space for parking wise for that amount of, you know, and all the doctors, you know, because we had about 3 doctors in the facility on top of the attorneys and plastic surgeons and all that good stuff. Yeah, they were a fucking headache. And let me tell you something. When they OD'd, it was the most scariest thing. At that time did not have Narcan, did not know what Narcan was. I don't even think Narcan was even developed at that time. And you're talking about zombies? It truly looked like Night of the Living Dead at night.
Yeah.
It was scary.
You see that in Portland, man. Like, dude, I see that in.
And all they wanted was the cash, because you know what? Each patient that came in had to pay cash to be seen by the doctor, and if they pay a little extra more, they will get seen faster.
Yep. And dude, I remember they were running scams where people were getting the doctor's pads. People were stealing doctor's pads, and they were writing scripts, and then people were using their insurance, like at Walgreens or CVS or places like that.
Even mom and pop pharmacies. Also, mom and pop
multiple of them writing scripts, pulling it out from their insurance, because at the time there wasn't this one unilateral system where you could see where people were going.
Yeah, I mean, because I knew the people that ran the operation and so forth, and I knew the doctor, and the doctor was like the most rejected doctor you could ever find. He was like the most Timu, and we didn't have Timu back in those days, but he was a Timu doctor, and he was kind of like barred from practice medicine and stuff, but he wasn't barred from writing scripts.
Yep.
So they would hire him, and he would write out a certain amount of scripts a day. And if you reach that amount, you get an extra $1,000 bonus or so forth for that day. And they will pay it to him cash right there and then. So like these doctors used to get paid big money.
Dude, when I had the medical clinic, I had to hire nurse practitioners, RNs, and all this other stuff. And the nurse practitioners, the ones that I was interviewing through this process, we didn't physically write any scripts in the clinic, but they, through my interview process, a lot of these nurse practitioners and doctors that I needed, you know, to oversee the clinic, they were like, okay, so how much, what kind of bonus do I get when I write these scripts? And I was like, we don't write scripts here. And it's like, it was crazy to me, man, because I saw like what the grift is there, you know, like even now, like here in town, there's doctors, you go, you're like, my back's been, they'll write you a script right away, you know?
Yeah, they will. And the fact that what they make their money off is when the patient has to pay up front. So Insurance don't cover those type of appointment. So they would come in cash, and they'll pay like $150 or so forth. And if you wanted to be expedited to be seen next, you would throw in another $100. So it's now $250 you're giving cash, and then they'll bring you in, and then they'll send you out with a month supply of 30. Was it Mac? It was the oxycodone 30s.
Yep.
You know, and the 30s were like the most strongest drugs, but it was also the most popular to be sold on the streets, and you would get top dollar for them. So for one pill, you could easily gotten like $30 to $40 for one pill. Nowadays, it's even more.
Yeah, I
but
think it's
I'm
like
just
60,
saying,
$70 a pill now, man.
yeah, because they used to charge like per milligram was like $1, so it was like 30s. They would charge minimum 30, max could go up to like $40-$50 just for one pill on the 30s. And
Wow.
people used to make a lot of money off of it. Then they would go to the doctors, and they wouldn't get those pills for themselves. They would turn it around and sell them.
Right. It was a full racket, man.
Yeah.
Full racket, dude.
Well,
cool, man, dude. I'm gonna jump.
It was great,
dude.
Yes.
I love this, man. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Tyson.
Enjoy the rest of the evening, man.
Oh, I will, man. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, for sure, man. Any events coming up this weekend?
No, not really. I mean, I'll probably do early shows and stuff, and I'm always doing shows. I'm like,
Dude, when you gonna do the psychic tarot card reading on Saturdays,
I
man?
I do them Saturdays. I didn't do them this past Saturday because I came in a little later in the day because I slept in.
Yeah.
Because I get those feelings that I want to sleep in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to do it. I'll let you know.
Yeah.
And I'll bring you in.
Yeah, they're cool.
All
Well,
right.
cool. Chat. Thank you guys so much. Thanks, Rick. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, this was a
Tyson.
good conversation. I appreciate the insights, man. Thank you, guys.
Awesome, man.
All right, I'll catch you guys in a bit.
Peace, Tyson. Later, man. So that's Tyson DeLacruz. As promised, every Thursday at 7:30 here. He dedicated 2 hours and 18 minutes. That's awesome. I appreciate it. Conversations were good. I mean, the drugs, they're out there. I mean, you get these fake medicines being produced and made, and and they pass them as real. And someone stupid and naive say, "Oh shit, I got me a perk 30. Oh, I'm gonna sleep good. This is gonna kill the pain." It don't kill the pain. It actually kills you. Like, newsflash, you're dead. And then your dealer doesn't give a fuck because you're dead. And 9 out of 10, they don't find the dealer because there's no trace. It's scary, these days. Don't buy shit from the street. If you need a headache, you have a headache, you're having pains and stuff like that, go see your fucking doctor. And then have your doctor prescribe you, maybe send you physical therapy. And if the pain continues, maybe they could prescribe you something to calm that pain down. But don't just grab shit from the street and they expect it to be real. Because 9 out of 10 is too good to be real. And then you end up dead. Not fun. Let me go back to the chat here. But thank you, Tyson, for coming through. Truly appreciate it. Like I said, the shirt, Golf of America, with Trump on it. He's chilling on the beach. You can purchase it at TysonDeLacruzStore.com. Yes, it's a beautiful design. He also has the Make Accountability Great Again. You got to check that shirt out too. I put in the thought into the shirt. Tyson designed it, and where it's up and active and being sold on Tyson's store. So go to TysonDeLacruzStore.com, pick you up a nice little merch and some gear. And the hoodies too. The hoodies are pretty cool. I'm probably going to order me one because it's going to start getting cold. I'm telling you, it's going to be a really rough winter for the Northeast. Expect really cold clippers and nor'easters, and I mean, I like it when it snows. It doesn't, it kind of numbs me out, and I ache and pain no matter what. But I kind of love the cold. I really love the snow. I love how pretty everything turns after it snows. Like you see everything all gringy and dirty, and then like it doesn't look nice, right? It's like, and it's all the leaves are down and the trees are bare and everything just looks like a little off. And then when that first true snowstorm comes, like the first true that's gonna like drop like 5-6 inches, and then you wake up the next day and you look outside, it's all white and it looks fucking beautiful, and you're like, fuck my life, I gotta fucking clean my car and fucking dig out my car. Depending some areas, because I know up in the northeast, actually in the northwest corner of Connecticut, they get a lot of snow up there, and heavy snow. So I feel bad for them when it really gets like really bad with heavy snow. But we have gotten our fair share of heavy snow, and I'm anticipating us to get a fair share of heavy snow this year, and it's gonna be it'll be cool. I mean, I'm gonna try to record it. I want to do a time lapse of it. I'm actually talking to my friend, and I'm like, let's make a deal. I want to set up a GoPro up here, and I want to connect it to a power source so it's always having power. And I want to hit record and just play, like just record everything for like a good 24 to 48 hours straight, and then just put it on a fast loop so that way you guys can see like how the weather changes and how fast the snow accumulates. I would love to do that when a big storm is coming, when I know like 12 inches is going to fall. When I'm being predicted anywhere from 10 to 12 inches plus, I'm going to time lapse the whole event, and I'm going to try to record it. I'm going to try to record it, and it'll be cool to do. Oh, I got to check the chat. But thank you for everyone who showed up in the chat room. I truly appreciate you guys so much. I mean, when I start talking, I don't look at the chat, so I'm apologetic right now for it. I'm sorry. But yeah, you got to go talk to your pharmacist for sure. I talk to my doctors, and they guide me to what I need for myself, and always talk to your doctor. I have an appointment coming up actually next month. Next month I got to do blood work and all that good stuff. Like I'm to the point that my veins hide from the doctors now. Like, because I don't like getting poked. I don't like needles. I'm not a fanatic of needles. I hate it. And I don't even like putting full synthetic oil in my car. I understand, Terry. That's so funny. But I don't like needles. And when I go to take out blood, because I am diabetic, so they got to check my levels and check where my A1C is, and my veins tends to hide away from the lobotomist. And she's always like, you're always the hardest one. Every time you come, I always have the hardest time with you. I go, but I have faith in you. I go, no, I know you do, but I'm just telling you, you're hard. I was like, I'm sorry. She's like, no, it's good. I got you. I go, listen, I did everything I could. I came walking. I actually drank a bottle of water. I really did what I had to do. Hopefully it's not hard. So we get good and we get lucky, and she gets me right away. And sometimes it doesn't feel as much. Sometimes I hate when they dig in. That's the part where I hate. When they start digging in and try to like find the vein and shit, I'm like, a lot of not happy words come out. And I actually do say it. I'm like, bitch. She's like, you call me a bitch? I was like, it's just the energy. It's like, it was very painful. So I expressed myself, I did. I called the lobotomist a bitch. She started laughing. She's like, boy, I was like, I'm sorry. It's just pain. It was so funny because I'm always nice with her, so she knows me. So but when I said that, it really hurt. She really got me good, and I was like, and the first thing that came out was like, bitch. I meant to keep that to myself, but it was so painful that it just came out. I don't like needles. I had a great laugh. Oh, Chloe don't like needles either. Yeah, yeah. My kids are in college now. Stephanie, yeah. Terry, kids are in college. That's awfully migraine shots. Oh, you do the migraine shots? Practice on you. Oh Lord, you let people practice on you. I was like, you're brave, girl. You're brave. It's like I feel like the lobotomists, they're really good because they poke a lot of people, so they kind of know. But I let them know I'm a special like type of person. I'm not easy. They already know. They're like, we have a picture of you back here. We know you're tough. You're tough to poke. Cause like, wait a minute, that's like a wanted picture. It's like what? It's like, yeah, this is a picture letting us know that you're one of the fucking hardest one to poke here. It's like no. Girls are funny. I like the girls where I go. I like to make them laugh, and I like to brighten up people's days. You know, I like to keep it positive. So I don't have anything else on here. I had Tyson for 2 hours. That's like super awesome. Um, I mean, I usually watch a paranormal show. I mean, would you like to watch something paranormal? Like, you don't have to ask us twice, Rick. I was like, yeah, I know. I just gotta find something for us to watch. I didn't really have anything to like set up to watch because I had Tyson, and Tyson alone is like he's very special to have him on here and to interact with him and have logical like conversations and good debates and being on the same page. I love being on the same page and someone that thinks alike and you can actually relate to and not overstep each other and not overtalk each other and just have really good, decent conversation, open dialogue. And then we get the chat room to interact, which is fun. I like to get the chat room involved, and we both read the comments and we interact. And we're going to be doing this every Thursday. If it changes to maybe 2 times a week, I'll let you guys know. But I really love my Thursdays. I love doing this on Thursdays. I look forward to it. Like I look forward to Thursdays because of Tyson. And let me tell you something. And to be honest with you, I thank Tyson every single time because Tyson was one of the people which actually was goading me to come back to YouTube. And I let him know that I did YouTube and I was off YouTube for almost a year. And Tyson was enticing me to come back. He's like, man, you should go back and come back to YouTube and, could like start back up doing your shows and just do what you do best. And that's and besides interacting, but entertain the people and have a good time. And it's always been helpful for me doing my show. My show's been very therapeutical for me. And the fact that I met really cool people along the way, and I continue to meet and continue to progress, I could see us growing and see us more here and having like-minded people here with us. It'll be like a really nice, cool group. That's what I'll ask for, And I want us to get us along. Like I want us all to get along and have a good time and, enjoy each other's company. I am looking for something scary. Don't get it twisted. I want something like really creepy. Like this morning show was really good. Like last night's show and this morning show, oh my goodness, especially with the with the paranormal. Oh, y'all missed it this morning. I had a back to back on the same location from last night, which was the Biltmore Hotel in South Florida. And I saw one episode last night, and then we continued the two other episodes, a one part one and a part two, this morning. And man, it was so good. Like it was so good, I want to go back and watch my own show. I do that from time to time, especially that I'm showing the paranormal stuff. Hell yeah, I watch my show. I watch it back, and I always tell Tyson, man, I go, damn, you did a great job, man. I'm watching the show. You did a fucking hell of a job. We both did good, and I love the energy that we both project. It's so cool. It's so good. All right, let me oh yeah, I remember those stacking chairs. Those stacking chairs really fucked me up. They fucked my head up. Uh but we already saw that one. If you want to see the stacking chairs again, y'all let me know. If you want to see something new, let me know too. I am finding some stuff here, so I see a lot of things that we have seen before, but they were very creepy. Like very creepy stuff. All right, let me see what you guys have wrote. Crawford Road in Yorktown. Give me one. I'll look it up. Let's see. Paranormal. Let's see. See, I didn't have this ready. It was all about Tyson. Like I really, when I came on, I was like, "Oh, I'm set. I got my news and got my Tyson, and let's go, let's do it." And I didn't get any of the paranormal setup. But I don't mind watching one that I already watched. Oh, look at the Biltmore one, the Biltmore Hotel. That was creepy. That was creepy. That was the part one, part two of the second, and they're not the same. They're like 3 videos. And if you watch last night's and you watch today's show this morning, the Wake and Bake. Okay. I'm just gonna have to pick something. I think we've seen that one because we've seen a lot. I've seen a lot. All right, we can see this one. All right, let me set this one up. Give me 1 second. Give me one moment in time to set this up. Yup. So let me figure this out. All right. Give me a few minutes. It's gonna take a sec. All right, here we go. I got it all set up. Let me put up the volume. Let me set up the screen. I'm actually gonna make this dark. We're gonna go lights out because I like to be in the dark. It's nice lit, right? But it's also nice lit. So we're gonna make it dark and make sure you want to eat some popcorn, snack, drink, go use the restroom. Do that now. Or if you have a cell phone and you're taking me to the restroom, okay, that's cool. I'm not gonna say that's weird, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and remove this one. Let's go ahead and Let's see. I have it here. Wait a minute. Here it is. Okay, let me resize it. You always gotta resize it. And okay. Let's put this over here and let's start this up. Here we go.
Right there. That's where we're going to be let in.
Let's go ahead and make this nice and dark.
We hadn't even set up any equipment yet. We were just kind of checking the place out.
Now you're going to know you spend the rest of your life on these guys.
Cold drafts. A bathtub? Steve had the EMF detector in his hand, and we were looking for a location that we could shoot an intro shot at.
As far as like, are we going to do it? You want to start? Are we going to do an intro?
Yeah, we're going to do an intro. It's so important to have cameras rolling because there's just so many different times when you're not expecting something to happen and you actually get something.
As far as like, are we going to do it? You want to start? Are we going to do an intro?
Yeah, we're going to do an intro. Where's that at? Come back this way? Yeah? Move it around? If that's you, can you make it move to the red? Are you here with us? Try to keep it still. If that's you, can you make it move to the red? If that's not Steve moving it around, if that's you guys here with us, can you make it move to the red? All you have to do is come near it. I mean, you did good before. Right in the middle of the open. Nothing stopping you. We thought this place was haunted. We're here. Hello. Hello. Anybody here? So,
we'll find out tonight.
We're going to go and do some exploring and see what we can catch on camera. So after recording our introduction, we wandered the hallways looking for signs, and we ended up at the punishment chamber.
Yeah, this is mad low.
This is crazy. There's like nowhere to stand up in here.
I'm having a hard time even getting your whole body in the shot.
Like you can, but like my head is in the ceiling. This is underneath the prison. This is crazy.
So what, this is where what's called the punishment cell?
Yeah, punishment. It's ice cold down here. Don't you feel that?
Oh, it's definitely ice cold.
You feel the temperature drop?
Yeah.
It's really.
It's funny. I was just telling you a minute ago. I'm like, yo, I need to take this coat off in a minute.
It's freezing.
And now it's ice cold.
Look, my breath. Can you see it on camera? It's so important not to have any video cuts in editing, because if I were to cut the video, someone could easily say that was just camera tricks, and it kind of discredits the paranormal shoot.
Yeah.
It's not that cold here in Pennsylvania right now. So why is it freezing down here? What is this? What is this? Blocked off section. You could feel such a significant temperature drop, and I'm talking about 20, 30 degrees colder. This is actually considered the hole, and this is where people would be punished at. They would be taken down to these rooms, and I mean, these rooms are so small, you know, it's like extremely tiny. If there's any spirits or any kind of activity down here, can you make this EMF detector move? Can you make it move to the red? Any kind of sign would be nice. Just make this move just a little bit up to the red. Looks like a lot of water damage here on the walls and stuff. We just want to know that you're present with us. Yeah. What's up? What's up?
Go look at this way. something moved.
Okay.
I could, my eyes.
Is it the flashlight? You see it?
No.
No.
This is the flashlight.
Okay.
Something moved in this, to the corner I'm pointing at. It was in that corner. And it wasn't.
You talking about like the doorway?
Yeah, like around this way. It wasn't like, whatever. Do you see that? Are you seeing this shit?
Steve was very positive in that moment that he had seen a shadow move, and I could not confirm it until now.
Oh yeah, look at it. Big. Right
Clearly,
there.
something moved across that hallway that Steve was able to see with his own eyes, and we did capture it on camera.
This damn flashlight? Yeah. Chase the black.
It's quick.
Yeah. It was like that, but it looked like a damn figure. I hope
Do we have?
Yeah, I hope you have it on camera. Because that
I was aiming the camera this way.
So
You definitely saw something. It wasn't just your eyes playing tricks on you.
I was just setting up the damn spirit box, getting ready to do our normal session.
Yeah.
And like I saw without the light on it, it's like right now how it looks.
Could it be shadows?
Like
that does that?
Like a shadow when you do if you're walking around.
Right.
So put the damn flashlight on it, and as I put the flashlight up, I saw the damn thing. What I'm showing you, dark.
Well, we'll have to look at the tape because I mean, I was definitely aiming there when you said, something just moved.
Wish you would have just saw that.
All right, so we have the spirit box out now. If you would like to communicate with us, we welcome you.
I'm trying to figure out what to say because I know that whoever was in here, I know you're still here. Try to speak to the spirit box.
We've heard many different types of voices come through on a spirit box before, and typically you don't get a voice saying the same thing over and over and over.
Stop it again.
It's like the same voice over and over. Listen. Hey, if that was you saying stop it, can you say it again?
Dude, stop right back to back. Holy shit. Stop what? What it wants to stop?
Did you just move your foot?
No.
Something rusty over there.
Behind me?
Yeah. What is it you would like us to stop? How about this? What's your name?
We are Steve and Casey. We know you were here before with us. Well, I saw you. Tell us your name. You want to get revenge on whoever hurt you?
I swear to God, it's a soul too. Right there, the same spot.
I started seeing things towards the end, and it's really hard to tell whether your eyes are playing tricks on you or not when you're in such a dark location for so long. To me, it looked like a shadow moving across the room, which,
yeah,
the last time when you saw it, there was a camera on it, but
Trust me, when you remember your earlier footage?
yeah.
I don't know what it was, but it looked, I mean, I would say it was like almost like a short person or something. Like it's like you can take a block of black, but it moves quick.
Yeah.
All right, guys, so we're actually going to spend a moment in solitary confinement to see what it felt like being one of the prisoners here. Now, Steve is all the way down at the other end of this hall in his own little jail cell. I'm going in this one right behind me.
Apparently a guard hung himself here, but there was a lot of activity here, so I am inside of a cell. As you can see, we got beds here.
So Steve and I found it very important to at least spend 30, 45 minutes completely alone in our own cell and see if we could relate somewhat to spirits who might still be dwelling there. So, here we go. Oh boy. Wow. It is really dark in here.
Y'all didn't see that? That was actually kind of creepy. Because I saw it out of the corner of my eye.
All right, digital recorder is going. Put that down right next to me. So this is what it felt like to be one of you guys for a day, huh?
Okay, I heard like, I'm not sure if this is gonna pick it up, but it sounded like almost like a low, kind of like a boom. But it's not that airplane. If you can hear the airplane above it, it's not that. You know, looking around, this would actually be horrible. Get stuck in something like this all day, every day. Look at this shit around me. It's like all stone, all rock. It's definitely an uncomfortable feeling. I want to call it heavy, because I felt heaviness before at other places.
Sad. Let me see if that was Steve.
Casey. Do you bang your bars?
Steve and I both heard metal pipes banging at the same time, and we both came out of our prison cells to see if that was him, and he wanted to see if that was me. I thought that was you. You heard it sounded like metal banging, right?
Sounded like it came from upstairs, dude.
That's what I heard too. It sounded like someone hit a bar upstairs. I mean, there's a lot of old pipes and like rusty pipes in here. I mean, you got the upstairs railing. I don't know if it was upstairs, if it was downstairs, but to me, honestly, it sounded like prison bars or something.
You heard that, right?
Yeah.
Go through it.
Sounded like it was coming from the cell that you were in. Of the cell.
What's that? Anybody here? Anybody outside? Besides the clinking, which I know we both heard.
Yeah.
Did you hear anything when you were in the cell? Or see anything or whatever?
No.
You know that little shadow thing that happened downstairs that we're always like, oh, it's maybe mind trick or whatever the hell it is?
Happened again?
Dude, no bullshit. It wasn't big though, but I swear to God, there's a little, say like right here's the cutoff. Right here would be the cutoff. So if my hand was covering the shadow like this, in a second, it was like that. So it was almost like a shadow,
and then gone.
But it moved really quick. It was like
Dude,
at the.
trust me, I'm not surprised.
It was
after the things we've seen in here.
That's like the third time a damn shadow I've seen there. And I know there's like lighting and shit, but there was no lights. There's like the lighting and shit, but there was no lights.
I got dark.
I'm walking through the hallways right
It's
now.
all over that place.
Definitely heard. It sounded like a faint clink. I don't know. Holy shit. A light just died or something over here.
Actually, you know what? Wait. That shouldn't be happening.
Dude, if it was one of the square ones?
Yeah, but I'm saying that shouldn't be happening. You know why?
Why?
Both of them were fully charged and we've been running them for the same time.
Yeah, 'cause we were talking
So look,
before, we were wondering like, you know,
look, this one has 3 bars. It has more than half battery.
Yeah.
That one's been on for the same amount of time. So you know how people say the energy drains when there's like spirits present? Yeah. We should set something up over here by this light and see if we could get anything.
Yo, tell me this place is not fucking creepy.
I mean, if you heard like a growl or something.
It was like a low. Remember when we were at Hillview?
Yeah.
And we were initially doing a walkthrough. We were kind of like exploring the place. We heard that phone that we kind of debunked.
Yeah.
It was very similar to that.
Yeah.
But it was shorter. You know, there were some differences, but it had the same tone to it.
Right.
And it was quick. And
Okay.
after I heard it, I heard the airplane over the head of it.
Yeah.
So I can kind of tell the distinction between the two.
It was this one, right?
Right here.
All right. So you're gonna go in and do the EMF. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go back down the hallway and I'm gonna try to do some thermal readings to see if I pick anything up. So I had scanned the hallway 3 or 4 times, just walking back and forth to see if I could pick up anything on the thermal detector. And just as I was getting ready to put it away, it almost looked like a head peeking out of one of the cells looking at me on the thermal. And it's weird too. I mean, like you can see stuff like this little light right here kind of picks up a reading on the wall.
Oh wow, yeah.
What is that?
Oh yeah.
What is that? Yo, Steve. Yo, come here, quick. Come here. I caught something on the thermal. I called Steve over immediately. He came down from his cell and we decided to go inside the cell where I had seen the thermal at. Something was like leaning out of this. That's the only way that I could say, dude. I swear to God, bro. No, there was like an orange.
It looked like a head almost, like something looking at me. I don't know. I have no idea. No, it was just like a orange sphere, but it was like it was coming out of this, and then it went back and disappeared. Hold on. Let me see if this picks up anything. No, sorry. You can leave it dark. Let me just see if it'll pick up anything. Yeah, you see that? You see that? Look. It's moving. You see it, right? You see it. Aim your light in there now. Look at that shit. What the fuck is that? It's moving, bro.
So there have been times in the past where we've seen a full body apparition on a thermal. This time it was another apparition, but it came in a different form and a different shape. This time it was more like a cloud that was kind of moving around the room, almost like smoke.
Yeah, you see that? Look. It's moving. You see it, right? Yeah. You see it. Aim your light in there now. Look at that shit. What the fuck is that? It's moving, bro. It's like hovering around. Let me get closer. Let's get closer. All right, you coming in?
Yeah.
All right, come on. Yo, you got the EMF detector?
Yeah.
Yeah, bust that shit out.
Somebody here with us. If somebody's here with us, moving around, come towards this device. Just tap it, touch it.
100%.
Yo, I'll tell you what, anytime I've ever seen an apparition, that was like a damn,
It's like a cloud. It's like a cloud floating around the room, right? You saw that.
Yeah, dude.
That's wild. Yeah.
Look at the damn thing.
And the thing is, dude, I wanted to make sure that I like moved the thermal.
Yeah.
So that the people could see. It's not like a camera cut. You feel that? Dude, did you just get like goosebumps?
Fucking cold.
It was ice cold and I got goosebumps.
Ice cold.
Yeah, hold on.
I probably have them. I mean, dude.
I just got goosebumps. Like a chill flew through this whole thing.
It was ice. There's like a little breeze, but
Yeah.
right past me.
Same here, dude.
Holy shit.
Let's set up the spirit box right here in front of this door. If there's a presence here with us, right, and you say something through the spirit box.
I want a full sentence. Can you say a full sentence?
Temperature. You hear him whispering?
Yeah.
Who's here with us right now? Can you say a name? What does that mean? Look at that, it's going crazy. The temperature's going nuts.
The whole damn machine's busting up.
What is going on?
I have no idea, dude.
Can you say something? Can you tell us your name?
That's Sal. Are you still stuck in the cell? Is there a message you want to send to your loved ones or someone you knew? Is it cold in here?
Yep. I'll be right back. I think there's a bathroom like right up down the hall.
Yeah.
Why are you putting a mask on? Oh, I would kill him if he did that to me. No, they did that.
I really had to do it. He's been getting me with jump scares for so long now. Every time we're at a haunted location, and his birthday was actually the very next day.
Oh, I would kick him in the face. He will regret it. Like, don't jump scare me.
Casey. I fucking heard him dying. On the fucking thing!
Let me see.
Jesus Christ, dude!
Oh, I would have kicked him in the face. How would it kick though? Knowing that the place is haunted.
Dude, you almost hit a backflip. Fucking knocked 10 bench over. Happy birthday, bro.
Happy birthday.
We were there for a duration of 5.5 to 6 hours. It was time for us to go. Unfortunately, security came, told us our time was done there. But within the time frame that we were there, I would definitely say we got some things on camera that would signify the place is haunted. I mean, it is one of the most haunted places in the United States right now. But you know what? Spirits are really not on demand. So you can't show up somewhere that's considered the most haunted place and just expect to get the most activity you've ever gotten. There have been other places that are not known to be so haunted that we've gotten more activity at. However, I would put a stamp on Eastern State Penitentiary and say that this place is definitely haunted. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button down below, leave a comment. We love hearing from you guys. There will be more episodes coming soon in the near future. Also, check out our merchandise. We got
It's really good. And you know what? It was a good show. I wanted to go to Eastern State Penitentiary. It's up in Pennsylvania. But they were doing like Halloween events there. They were doing like walkthroughs, like Halloween walkthroughs, like a scare, like kind of like a haunted house, but a real haunted place where spirits are actually really active. And people are known to be scratch, touch, push, all that good stuff, bangings, hear voices, and very interesting. I do have 3 videos I want to watch before I sign off for the night. So if you like to join me and watch, I truly appreciate it. It's let me set them up real quick. Set them up. But there's 3 videos I want to watch before going to bed. It's like Rick's gonna make us watch 3 videos before going to bed. Yes, I am. At least on my time. So let's watch this together. We're gonna set it all up. We also, I do have Tyson DeLacruz, Jason A, and Fox Now. So we're gonna go first with the Fox Live Now. Fox. Let's check that out right now.
All right, welcome back in here to Live Now from Fox. I am AD Mac. We're continuing our coverage of the fallout following Jimmy Kimmel being pulled off the air indefinitely by ABC and Disney. And we're going to touch on the possible financial impacts and effects of a boycott, potentially against Disney. We've seen other politically charged boycotts, this one coming as other companies making real impacts in recent months. For more on the backlash following this, obviously very disturbing stories yesterday, I do want to bring in a conversation from Market Watch, Lucas Alpert. Thank you so much for joining us here on Live and Now from Fox.
Who's gonna like boycott?
How will it impact the financials? And do you think people will ultimately
like
try
young
to
people don't
boycott
give a
Disney?
fuck about Jimmy?
Well, there is definitely a push, if you look in social media, for people to cancel their streaming subscriptions to Disney Plus and Hulu,
Yes,
ESPN
Stephanie, have a good night. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it.
It could have an impact. Yeah, certainly. I mean, if in the media world now, digital streaming subscribers are like the coin of the realm. And if you have a quarter where that number goes down, that's not good in the eyes of investors.
Damn, Terry, that's fucked up. You had Freddie and Jason. That's fucked up.
Lucas, are you still there? We might be having a little bit of technical issues. I don't know.
If it does take on some.
Keep going if you will.
Hang on, I'm going to move spots. Yeah. Analysts sort of think that this could impact Disney in the short term if there's a real groundswell of cancellations.
Yeah, no, and obviously so many different facets of that. Obviously, Disney's such a large company, such a large organization. We're also talking about several mergers that are in place, that the likes of Disney acquiring NFL Network with Tegna and Nexstar kind of trying to become one. How much of a factor do you think that was in the decision, knowing that pulling some of these off the air, the financial impact of that? How much are the mergers weighing on the minds of those that would have tried to air Jimmy Kimmel?
Well, I think that it definitely did weigh on their mind. I mean, Brendan Carr, the head of the FCC, he said yesterday, really in no uncertain terms, that he was willing to apply pressure on the affiliates and the networks over issues like this. I mean, he didn't mince words. And this particularly Nexstar, which is one of the larger affiliates for ABC. I think that they've got a major merger in play with Tegna, which is going to require like a pretty substantial rule change. So, and the FCC would have to be involved. Brendan Carr has said, argued in on behalf of this. So, there's a lot of debate on how much power he would have to make that change. Yet, if he stood in the way of it, it would not happen. So, I think that they made that threat. I think that was pretty clear, and I think that had a major role in this.
And Jimmy Kimmel is just kind of so much of a household name. He's been on air there kind of late night since the early 2000s. If Jimmy Kimmel, this is his final days with ABC, if he lands someone else, do you think the financials there will have an impact? Do you think people will make that recognition? What do you think about kind of the time for Jimmy Kimmel on if he's at Disney or somewhere else?
Well, there's been a lot of reporting about the late night format. This program, this type of program, is not the cash cow that it once was. I mean, these were huge things for networks. The audiences have changed, the audience habits have changed. So these shows don't pour off the cash that they used to. That was the argument when Stephen Colbert's show was pulled. Paramount said this was purely financial. Not everyone believed that. But here it's the same dynamic at play, so, this show costs a lot to produce. Jimmy Kimmel, probably commands a lot of money. His contract, I understand, is up at the end of the year, so does it make sense, to look at this? It seems like this issue, of his comments over Charlie Kirk might have been a kind of an easy excuse to exit a kind of more complicated question. Can Jimmy Kimmel go somewhere else? Certainly. there's streamers, there's, the format itself has not lent itself well in streaming, sort of live broadcast, news-ish program, news-adjacent programming has never really worked that well in a streaming environment, because it's sort of topical and within, a few hours it's sort of dated and old. So, it'd be interesting to see, if he would want to, and where he might go.
Yeah, we've seen other kind of hosts, other comedians kind of land on other platforms, either kind of podcast forums or different streaming platforms. And just to circle back to the beginning before I let you go, because I want to put up a post from Mark to Watch as well, saying boycott Disney over pulling Jimmy Kimmel, why the company will fare better than the likes of Tesla and Bud Light. Are there any other companies out there that Disney potentially can learn from in some of the reaction, the fallout, and how they stay afloat, or at least not let the financials dip too low?
Well, I think that's an interesting question. We looked at Bud Light, that situation, which was very impactful on Anheuser-Busch. We looked at Tesla, and their numbers have been significantly down, in the reaction to some of the political positions that Elon Musk has taken. And then we've more recently, you had the issue with Cracker Barrel. A lot of their customers didn't like the rebrands. The new logo, they felt it was sort of, woke, it was bandied around a lot. And, that's hurt their traffic, their in-store traffic. So, these things were all impactful. These are pretty different companies. If you look at, Bud Light as a product, its audience was very, had a very big following on kind of like conservative men. And it, that they were angry, and that hit the bottom line. And Tesla, similarly, they had an audience that was, not really probably supporting Donald Trump. And then, have Elon Musk, stand with Trump so strongly, kind of alienated them, and they walked away. And Cracker Barrel, its audience is kind of this very specific thing, and they didn't like it. So Disney's huge, and they cut across such a huge gamut. Probably half the people on the earth have some contact or business buying, at Disney, was seeing a movie, watching their TV programs, going to the theme parks, going on the cruise ships. So, it would have to be a very substantial thing to really it's going to hurt the bottom line. But, like I said, the streaming thing if they have a quarter where their streaming subscribers are down, investors are not going to be happy with that. And so that, that could be a short-term impact. Does it last over the course of years? I don't think so, but who knows? We could see.
Yeah, and I think maybe sometimes people underestimate the power of kind of the public sentiment coming together, and sometimes you can feel it. So we'll see if it is the same way this time. All right, Lucas, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us discussing the latest.
All right.
Sure, no problem.
We're going to go straight to the next one, which is Jason A. Let's check this out.
You hope that. You hope that Charlie Kirk's death won't be used by a group we now call bad actors to create a society that was the opposite of the one he worked to build. You hope that. You hope that a year from now, the turmoil we're seeing in the aftermath of his murder won't be leveraged to bring hate speech laws to this country. And trust me, if that does happen, there is never a more justified moment for civil disobedience than that, ever. And there never will be. Because if they can tell you what to say, they're telling you what to think. There is nothing they can't do to you because they don't consider you human. They don't believe you have a soul. A human being with a soul, a free man, has a right to say what he believes, not to hurt other people, but to express his views.
Being with Rogan for the aftermath of it was helpful.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Yeah. But and I don't know. I think for this generation, I think that's their JFK moment. I mean, seriously. And I just, if that's where we've wound up, it cannot be where we stay.
Right.
It's still, I don't want to say it's still not, it still doesn't feel, it's too surreal to process it.
Yeah.
It's just the unfairness of it, because that dude he didn't demean people. He didn't ridicule people. He didn't belittle or embarrass or gotcha. He showed up, as prepared as you could have been, as passionate as you could have been, and just asked people to just have an open debate. Just, okay, here's what I believe and here's why. And let's hear your side of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that it turned into that is just, that just can't be, we can't keep having days like that moving forward.
No.
Yeah, so like you see LA riots and then all of a sudden some guy comes by in a vehicle delivering a whole box of commercial grade gas masks. I mean, how does someone get that into the hands of rioters that fast? And does that come from Soros? I mean, tell us where it comes from.
Well, that's what we need to find out. I'm willing to bet a lot of it does come from Soros, because Soros in particular has perfected the dark money charade, the dark money shell game, where they move it around through different entities you can't trace. But Jesse, you just think about these riots that began in LA, that they tried to then spread to other cities that Trump is now shutting down. All of them were planned. None of these were organic. And we know because they all followed the same playbook. Same thing on campuses the last 2 years. All these campus so-called demonstrations, it's all AstroTurf. It's all fake, because the Democrat Party today is a theater troupe funded by George Soros. The problem is they're also violent. And that's what we've seen in the last week. Once again, we have got to stop the flow of the money. We've got to prosecute those who engage in violence. And we've got to shut down this attempt to divide the country, which the Democrats have been carrying on for years now.
We have to recognize that on both sides, undoubtedly there are people who are extremists and who say things that are contrary to what I believe are America's core values. But I will say that those extreme views were not in my White House. I wasn't embracing them. I wasn't empowering them. I wasn't putting the weight of the United States government behind extremist views. And that is when we have the weight of the United States government behind extremist views, we've got a problem. Obviously, I didn't know Charlie Kirk. I was generally aware of some of his ideas. I think those ideas were wrong. But that doesn't negate the fact that what happened was a tragedy and that I mourn for him and his family. He's a young man with 2 small children and a wife who obviously, and a huge number of friends and supporters who cared about him. And so we have to extend grace to people during their period of mourning and shock. We can also, at the same time, say that I disagree with the idea that the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was a mistake. That's not me politicizing the issue. It's making an observation about who are we as a country. I can say that I disagree with the suggestion that my wife or Justice Jackson does not have adequate brain processing power. I can say that I disagree that Martin Luther King was awful. I can disagree with some of the broader suggestions of that liberals and Democrats are promoting a conspiracy to displace whites and replace them by ushering in illegal immigrants. Those are all topics that we have to be able to discuss honestly and forthrightly, while we still insist that in that process of debate, we respect other people's right to say things that we profoundly disagree with. That's how we should approach it.
Just last week, a great American, Charlie Kirk, was heinously assassinated for speaking his mind. He was a great young man, incredible future. Some people said he might be president someday. I told him, I said, Charlie, I think you have a good shot someday at being president. And he just wanted to take care of youth. He loved youth. I've never seen anybody relate to youth like Charlie, and they related to him, and they're devastated. But I appreciate the many British citizens who have offered their condolences. And again, Charlie was a great person. We'll be going out to a service on Sunday. I'll be leaving with some of the people in this room just to celebrate Charlie and all that he's done. So incredible. Never seen anything like it.
Wow. You know, I hope they do a good job with that ceremony. I mean, as far as security is concerned, I hope they do a really good job. And I hope everything goes well with the ceremony and security. I'm just worried about security. It's a big open public event where the president and the vice president is going to be at the same time. You know, these events tend to try to, they scare me, these events. But Charlie he's in all of us, you know. He's in our thoughts. He's in our minds. Every day we think of Charlie. And I will never forget him. That's for damn sure. All right, so we're gonna wrap up the show with one last show for the night. And you know how we do it here, and you know who we're gonna put on. The man, the myth, the legend. We're gonna put on the man who was here earlier tonight with a great show we did earlier together. My man Tyson DeLacruz. Let's get this started.
Two mass shootings just a mile apart. And today, video from our chopper shows garbage trucks clearing out the site of one of those mass shootings, an encampment in Minneapolis.
America, we need to talk about what just happened in Minneapolis because it perfectly illustrates the deadly consequences of virtue signaling disguised as compassion. 7 people were shot at a homeless encampment on East Lake Street, with 2 victims in critical condition after being shot. But here's what's infuriating. The property owner, Hamoudi Sabari, is already talking about reopening this disaster zone after people nearly died on his property. This guy owns prime real estate in Minneapolis, and instead of developing into something that generates tax revenue and jobs, he's turning it into a magnet of violence, drugs, and chaos. When virtue signaling meets reality, innocent people get killed.
And our top story tonight at 6, another mass shooting in Minneapolis. This time the gunfire came overnight at an encampment on Lake Street, which is on private property.
7 people were hurt in that shooting, several with life-threatening injuries.
What is up, guys? Tyson DeLacruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with
Good
me.
night,
This video
Chloe.
shows exactly what happens when property owners
After this,
prioritize
I'm
feelings
ending the
about
show.
themselves over actually helping
I
their
gotta get to bed,
communities.
too.
Let me break down what happened at this encampment on East Lake Street. Around 10 p.m. Monday night, gunfire erupted at this homeless camp that was operated by the property owner. 7 people were shot, with 2 victims found in tents with life-threatening head wounds.
Police still looking for those responsible as the city stepped in immediately. They cleared out this site of the tents, of the makeshift structures, and now they are headed to court to make sure it stays cleared off.
Police Chief Brian O'Hare blamed the shooting on an apparent dispute over drugs, which tells you everything you need to know about what this encampment really was: a drug market disguised as humanitarian aid. But here's the kicker. This happened just hours after a shooting a mile away where 5 people were hurt near the Lake Street Metro Transit Station. Minneapolis had 2 mass shootings in 12 hours, both connected to the homeless crisis that city leaders refused to address properly.
The Minneapolis homeless encampment that became the scene of the latest mass shooting is cleared tonight and being held by police. This morning, city crews started dismantling the encampment that sits on private property.
The city immediately moved to shut down the encampment. Mayor Jacob Frey saying these encampments regularly end with tragedy, with shootings, with fires, and preventable deaths. That's why we need to close them. Now let's talk about the property owner who created this disaster. This guy owns prime commercial real estate on East Lake Street, one of Minneapolis's main corridors. And instead of developing into something productive, he's been allowing it to become a magnet for drugs, violence, and chaos.
Feel any responsibility for what happened in light of hosting the encampment here?
Absolutely not.
Sabri says he did it for humanitarian reasons, because he thinks the city isn't doing enough to help the homeless, and he has no plans to stop what he's doing.
But here's my question. If you really wanted to help, why not develop your property into something that creates jobs, generates tax revenue, or houses homeless people?
We're going right back right now. That's what I'm here for.
Did he put the neighborhood in danger?
Absolutely. I understand from the compassion standpoint that you want to help, but you're enabling people to continuously use their drugs and have a lifestyle that is not safe.
Even after 7 people got shot on his property, the homeowner is saying, we're going right back right now, and that's why I'm here. This isn't compassion. This is stubborn virtue signaling that's putting people's lives at risk. Let's hear from the people who actually live with the consequences for this property owner's humanitarian experiment.
There's too many kids in this neighborhood right next to a school. Very unsafe for any child.
Until the mass shooting, the city was unable to close down the encampment because it's on private land, hosted by owner Hamoudi Sabri.
This woman has full custody of 2 grandchildren because both of the parents are addicts, and she's trying to protect them from the exact kind of environment that this property owner is creating. She said, I understand from a compassion standpoint that you want to help, but you're enabling people to continuously use their drugs and have a lifestyle that is not safe. That's the real impact here. Families are trying to raise children safely while property owners create drug markets for their neighborhoods and call it compassion.
The shooting at this encampment happened just after 10 o'clock last night near 28th and East Lake Street in the Longfellow neighborhood. It's unclear at this point what led up to the gunfire, but police say they believe it was a shootout between at least 2 people.
The city has been trying to close down this encampment for months, but couldn't because it's a private property. They were in court proceedings to get it shut down when the shooting happened. Now it's finally closed, but only because people nearly died. Here's what really gets me about the situation. The property owner is a successful property developer with a long history of commercial real estate projects in Minneapolis. He knows how to build things, generate tax revenue, create jobs, and contribute to the community. So why is he choosing to turn prime real estate into a homeless camp instead of developing it properly? Is he too lazy to do the work of actual development? Does he think letting people set up tents is easier than building something productive?
Crews spent the day today clearing this camp. City officials say next steps include getting a court order.
East Lake Street is a major commercial corridor. That property could be developed into retail space, office buildings, mixed-use housing, or a number of things to generate tax revenue for the city and create legitimate employment opportunities. Instead, the property owner is choosing a path of least resistance. Just let people camp there and call it humanitarian aid. But that's not helping anybody. It's enabling drug addiction, creating public safety hazards, and destroying the neighborhood for everyone else. This Minneapolis encampment shooting is part of a broader pattern we're seeing across Democrat-run cities. Misguided compassion that actually makes problems worse while making people implementing it feel good about themselves.
When you set up a homeless encampment, it becomes an open market for drugs.
Fry says there's nothing humanitarian about an encampment, which is dangerous for the neighborhood and the people staying there.
The mayor got it exactly right. When you set up a homeless encampment, it becomes an open drug market. There's nothing humanitarian about creating conditions where people get shot in the head over drug disputes. The city offered services to people in this encampment every single day. After the shooting, there were 30 people remaining at the camp. Only 1 person accepted help from the city. That tells you this wasn't about people who had nowhere else to go. This was about people who wanted to live outside of the law. Real compassion would be developing this property into something that creates legitimate opportunities for people to improve their lives. Real compassion would be supporting the families in the neighborhood who are trying to raise children safely.
No decision yet on a restraining order against Hamoud Sabri, who has been allowing a homeless encampment on his land.
America, the property owner's decision to reopen the encampment after 7 people got shot shows you everything wrong with virtue signaling disguised as compassion. This guy owns prime real estate in Minneapolis, but instead of developing it into something that would be productive to society, he wants to turn it back into an open drug market. This isn't about helping homeless people. It's about a property owner who's too lazy or too stubborn to do the hard work to actually develop it. Letting people set up tents on your land isn't compassion. It's negligence. The real victims here are the families trying to live safely in that neighborhood, the children who have to walk past drug deals on their way to school, and the people who got shot because somebody thought enabling chaos was the same as helping people. If the property owner wants to help the community, he should develop that property into something productive, build retail space, create jobs, build housing that people can afford, build something that contributes to the tax base instead of draining the city of resources. But that would require actual work and investment, not the warm, fuzzy feeling that comes from calling yourself compassionate while other people pay the price for your virtue signaling. 7 people got shot because the property owner chose to enable dysfunction instead of contributing to solutions. That's not compassion. That's selfishness disguised as charity. Let me know what you guys think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.
Thank you, Tyson DeLacruz, for an awesome upload there. Oh man, you got to do a better job and taking care of the homeless and the needy. It's a problem, and it just continues to spiral. It's just a never-ending story with that one. But I am done with today's show. it was fun time. 3.5 hours. Hey, I had a good time. Thank you, Tyson, for the 2 hours and 18 minutes. It was a great show having him on here. I can't wait for the future to see much more people in the chat room speaking it up and having a good time and interacting with Tyson DeLacruz. Like I said, we're going to be doing this every Thursday at 7:30, 4:30 Pacific. And I'll be on here like usual every day, Wake and Bake and the evening show. And I'm having fun, and I hope you guys enjoying. And with that said, I'm going to bed. I am so tired. You guys have a good morning, good afternoon, and a good night. And I'll catch you on the flip side. And I'll see you guys for Wake and Bake. How about that? That sounds awesome. All right, guys. Good night. See y'all later.